the stars align. Kelly Coffee takes you on a ride divine. In her thought bubble we soar through the night, exploring the universe, our vision takes flight. The symphony of galaxies fills the air. Come with me, let's ride on the cosmic breeze. With Kelly Coffee we'll journey through galaxies. In her God bubble we'll explore the unknown, a grand adventure like no other we've known.
Been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.
Hey guys, it's me, Kelly. Come on in. Yes, I have my microphone turned on. Hey Jennifer. Hi Bindi. How are you guys today? Oh, hi Kelly. How's it going? Oh my goodness. I have a disclaimer. Don't believe anything I say. Jennifer, don't believe anything I say. Do your own research. That's how it's going. So it's going great, because you guys decide for yourself what you do. This is just another perspective. This is just another perspective. Hey, check. Oh, that's not what I meant to do, but cool. Hey, look, your comments are up. Now, what was I actually trying to do? Let's see. Oh, do this. There we go. What am I looking for? I came over here because I was going to find it like really fast. And here it is. So think of a plasma sphere, a God bubble of sorts, but a God bubble that's created that's a copy of the original God bubble. So in this copy of the original God bubble, there's a plasma bubble. Plasma meaning a potential field. Potential to be what is an exact copy of the God bubble. So anything and everything and all of creation. That's decided for this. So in this, we play a game. And this game is, let's pretend like we're all these different characters. And we're all divided up. Let's pretend that. And in this division, it can look all kinds of ways, you guys. It can look like a plasma field with what might be like animal balloons or worm-like things or Donnie Darko chesticle thing. In a bunch of those in a plasma field. That's what it can look like. A division. It could be a what you think is your lifetime. Like here's all these possibilities that can be in reality, including this one, in every single different decision you could make. Every possibility is there. Or you let go of everything and you find yourself in the plasma field going, oh, wait a minute. I thought I had to pick from a good life or a crappy life for Avatar Kelly. I didn't realize I made Earth. I was on the level of creating Earth, which means all of everything. Like, oh shit. So we find ourselves in our awareness because we have the concept of division. Division doesn't exist. It has to be an idea because you cannot be divided. This is a plasma field of potential. You can only decide to divide yourself. I told you it was going to be Good News Day. I guess I didn't. Surprise! It's Good News Day. And look at what the concept, where we are right now. Think of the idea of a belief system for you to help yourself by going within. What happens when you go within here to a divided, or you've got an idea of division of a sphere? So you go within and you go, oh, I can see all angles from this angle. I can see all the divisions. I must be God. And it's only an idea of division in the center of that idea. So it's just whatever's going on in the center, having all of these experiences in all directions. Good News Day. In that, here's another way of interpreting it. Because whatever you think is another possibility in the plasma field, that's where you find yourself. It's like, Kelly, is this real or not? Well, what are you calling real? Just the reality bubble you're in right now with a certain set of rules, or another reality bubble that you don't visit very often that has like your dream bubble that you create, where you could pick anything and you pick a land where you can fly and breathe underwater. So think about it as another reality bubble that you create with quite different rules than the third dimensional reality bubble here. So then what is real? It's all real. Just what are you used to? And that's what we call real. What we experience over and over and over again. Is that helpful information? I hope so. So here's an idea of how I see a division. And AI got it a little bit outside the lines, but you understand the concept. This is a type of division that you could see. If you have a belief system in this direction, it might make sense to you to call these angels or angles. Angles of what? Perspectives. So every angel and the different types of angels are just different perspectives of God, or what you're told is God, is to go within. Oh, you're God, you go within. Oh yeah, I created all the angles. No, you just created the concept of division. And then you played this concept out in the plasma field of possibilities. Good news, because letting go of this is what you do. You don't go in these, think of these as prisms. Oh, good grief. Every time you turn around in a prism, you see something different, right? So you're never going to find your way out of this. This is just an experience that you can have at one time. Isn't that cool? Here's another way of looking at the division. Like every different perspective has like a different pattern, a color, and so forth. Here's a different division. Like when you go to that career counselor, that's like, take this test. And your test is like mapped out on this pie chart. And my pie chart, and the counselor was like, I've never seen this before. It's like I was on all sides of the pie. It was like, well, you're kind of like good at everything. And it's like, that's not possible. You're only supposed to go in one area. Divergent. That's what they're doing. They're the neurodivergence. That's what they're testing in that career test. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So, and because of this pie chart, it helps you to decide what career or what pathway to take. And I was all over the damn place. That's neurodivergence. It's like, oh no, our training did not work on this one. She thinks she could do everything. She wants to do everything. You can't do that in the third dimension. You've got to sit in a seat. You've got to push paper around. And you're going to have a computer system that you're going to get used to. And then every 3 to 6 months, they're going to either upgrade it, completely change it, or go with another company. And you're going to have to figure out a whole new system again. Oh, that's one of the perspectives. What if you were tricked? Think about this. Oh, this good news day. What if you were tricked? It's okay. You came here for something. Let's say it's healing. And you feel that, you deeply feel this healing thing. And so what happens in like kindergarten? Oh, you have to have a plan in life in kindergarten, and you can change it every year, but you must follow it. Oh, you want to heal people? Oh, okay. What you need to look into kindergarten and first grade, very important. We get on track. Dentist, which is a high rate of, go look it up, dentistry. No, where I want to be. Doctor, nurse, chiropractor, whatever. Here are your options. We can volunteer your time and go to a third world country, help them out. Poke them in the arm. Be helpful. Spread that all over the place with no borders. And these are your options. Oh, so I have to go. There's so many unhealed people, and I'm going to be a doctor so I can help heal the unhealed people, until you get into the system. And it's like, oh, that's not what it's all about. That's what I meant to do. It just didn't turn out quite as I thought it would be. This healing stuff. So whatever the methods are. Oh, I'm pushing vitamins today for you to heal yourself. Here's a vitamin C. Not a recommendation, by the way. Not a medical doctor. Not recommending vitamin C. But make your own decisions. But a doctor that's pushing vitamin C. You don't feel good. Here's a vitamin C. They're still trying to heal on the outside. You do on the outside that which you're lacking on the inside if you're lacking healing. You see, the whole world is unhealed, and where can I fit in? The system tells you be a doctor and push our system. Or an alternative system and push healing. When ultimate letting go and allowing. And it was all about you healing in the first place. It wasn't about anybody else. See how you came here to heal? You came here to heal. And all your options were a selection of, well, you can't make money healing yourself. But if you heal all these people, you can have like a second home, a third yacht. Or you can work in the emergency room and make crap. Whatever. Wow. Isn't that good to know that you can let go of that? Because the system of, you created this world. You are the laptop creating all of this. Good news. In order for this video game to keep playing, you have got to keep playing the game. In other words, this concept of lack and loss is just concept that you put out and what you create. If you stop creating it, it goes away. This reality. Good news. Good news. If you stop creating it, it goes away. So when we're fighting it, we're creating it and then fighting that which we create. Again, good news day. What's the solution? Let go and allow. For what? Most of the time, I don't know. And that's the cool surprise that happens when I do let go. Because in my life, I don't know about yours, in my life, when I let go and everything fixes itself right in front of me, it was like, oh, I would have never thought about that. And I'm pretty smart. I would have never thought of doing it that way. When I step back and allow the universe, just you on a higher level, managing this video game, letting the universe, like, oh my God, the avatar, they got a good idea again. Yeah, she did. She's like, oh, this will be a great idea. Let me put all of my efforts into it because I'm autistic and I can like OCD on it for a long time before I see. Good news day. Good news day. So, this is what I have to offer you in our time together. The God bubble method, a method of letting go and allowing. Of letting go of what? What is right in front of your face right now? Well, I'm kind of mad about this thing. Oh, I'm scared of this thing. I'm angry about that. It's like my neighbor. They seriously put on trash day. They put their trash on the lawn and on my side. Like kill my grass. I'm just so upset about that. That's where we start in the letting go. Is what is right there. Cool beans. So this is what I have to offer you, letting go and allowing. And this is a visual of what happens when you let go and allow. The stuff that's there in front of your face just falls off. The three-dimensional concept. And it goes to the God bubble. And what does the onion care after it let go and it's in the God bubble? What the push-pull highlight systems I see do are on the right. In that, the fast track, the pushing and the pulling, you go to levels and layers that you try to push and pull and manipulate. And when you do that, the whole healing process is just bypassed. Here's the good news. The good news is it also goes into the God bubble anyway. No matter which method of healing, it always goes into the God bubble and you can still reset. You can still reset. So this is a concept that if it makes sense to you, you're in the right place. Hey, Mindy, grateful for this beautiful Friday and to see Kelly live. Oh, it's good to see you. So very grateful for good news and every day. It is good news day today. I checked, Mindy, because I didn't want to be shocked, like in the middle of the show. I checked, and it is self-reflection day as well, Mindy. I know, it's self-reflection day, but that's all right because it's good news day, and it's good news that it's self-reflection day. So, oh, Jennifer, good to see you. Went and got water, ready for good news day. Jennifer's like, bring it on. Bring on good news day. And I've got the comments up, so if you make a comment, it's going to show. It's going to show. Oh, man, I can't wait to tell you, like, my potential Bigfoot. I don't know. I didn't see anything. But I got to thinking. There was something so weird about that crack sound. It sounded like a branch breaking, a huge branch breaking. Right after the whole area became quiet. Not just that the animals were quiet because there's a predator. I've heard that before, which could be in some instances. But that doesn't explain the stream. I was walking up alongside a stream and following it along the trail. And the stream, you couldn't even hear it. So that was very odd, I found. That was very odd. So I thought the other day when it's like, I'm not going to do a show unless I feel the show has value to my audience in some way and can help my audience. So I don't want to do it. And I thought what might be helpful to my audience is something about Bigfoot and what the potential is and the perspective on why is Bigfoot there? Why did I have this encounter? Did other people have this encounter of hearing this large crack, this cracking sound in the middle of the woods? Jennifer, I don't remember. I've got a picture. And the pictures I have, I think, are on Instagram. And Facebook. So if you go to my Facebook, I think I've got the links on my YouTube, but I can't guarantee that. I did not look. I'm so sorry. I think it might take you to my Facebook. But on there, if you go deep enough, you'll find the Bigfoot pictures and you will find the picture of the footprint and you'll be able to count the toes. AI put 6 toes on it. So AI did that when I was trying to make the pictures. So I didn't decide to put 6 toes on it when I was working with AI making the pictures. So don't take the pictures I put on here as 100% realistic. That's why I make them. I have AI make it look like a picture, but do enough to it where it's obvious it's AI, so that nobody thinks that I'm trying to pass off pictures as the real deal. If that makes sense. So I'm so sorry, Jennifer, and thank you for the question, because I don't remember, but I did take a picture, and that the footprint. I don't know if Colorado Bigfoot still has that on his channel, and I can't find the whole video. I can't remember if the footprint was on the video that I still have, because I showed a lot of smudge and all of that. Oh, that's my system that I alert myself to do tasks when the day starts. And it just reminded me to do tasks. There we go. So I'm so sorry about that, Jennifer. I don't know. And I guess that's the only place I can think of for you to find the Bigfoot pictures. And I can't remember if I did it on this channel or the channel before this one, that I reposted that Colorado footage that I had off of hard drive, those terabyte hard drives that I have. So that's a project in and of itself, getting all that out and doing vault videos in like the members area and stuff. I can do that if you want me to, but and then try and find the Bigfoot. Again, whatever I have available to me. I'm trying to think. I can't remember if I've got it on this computer or not. I don't want to search right now. I'll do that later. See if I can find the pictures. If anybody goes to Facebook and scrolls through all of, I'm sorry, there's a picture of I think a forest with all the trees, and it looks something like, see if I've got it on here, like this. It'll have a picture kind of like this with some of the Sasquatch in the back that are just kind of like looking on. And then you'll see a picture kind of like this. So you see it's on Instagram. Is there a date or anything on there? I don't see anything. So this is what you're going to see if you go on Instagram and look at the pictures. And it should be right there in that same area. Like a picture like this, a picture like this, and potentially a picture kind of like this maybe. And I don't remember what channel this was that I posted it on, but I don't think it's there anymore. So yeah, that's where the Bigfoot picture is, where there's an impression of it, and with how many, why did I not put that on here? Maybe it wasn't with the cluster of pictures when I found it. Huh. Oh, here's this one is more like up close. So when you do look for it, it should be there. If it's not, let me know, you guys. If you find it, can you please do copy and paste and email it to me or something? I'm so sorry. Or like, can you put pictures in the comments, you guys? If you can put pictures in the comments, please put those pictures, copy paste or whatever the protocol is. Thank you so much, because it's not just me that can't find my own pictures. Other people want to see these pictures too. So I'm looking through the ones I have on here, and I don't have that foot. Okay. So exciting. I'm really excited. Do you guys have a Sasquatch story, whatever it is? Whatever they're called, there's all different types. Some of them have the white hair, and they're in different climates. Some are in really cold climates, warmer climates. So one in particular, and this one, this is real as close as I can get to the encounters that everybody had in Pennsylvania, not just myself. And my encounters with these things, there were multiple ones. And they would just stand like right behind the tree line and just watch and observe. And they were about 4 feet tall, and they looked like orangutans. They had more of an auburn reddish hair than an orange reddish hair, an auburn red. Where orangutans, I call it an orange red, or more orange. And these were auburn, and they had almost like a fringe on their arms. This very long hair that went, the whole length of the arm, down the arm, that was hanging off of it. Lots of hair, and that's all they did was just observe. And again, this was in Pennsylvania that this happened. So I was staying at a friend. Her family had this big, huge, multi-million-dollar business. So they had, second homes and all that all over the place. So it was going to be vacant for 3 months. And she's like, hey, well, come see me and just stay there, because it'll be nice to have someone, staying there instead of just leaving it vacant and all. And so I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. So I went and stayed there and encountered these I don't, whatever you call them, if you want to call these Sasquatch. Again, there's all different kinds. There's big, tall, huge ones. But my encounters and other people's encounters that I've heard and I've researched myself, do your own research, is that these only hurt people when humans become aggressive towards them. Otherwise, if humans are just doing their human thing and leave them alone, then, they just observe and do their thing. But when humans try to drive them out or whatever, scare them, then that's when they get hurt. Yeah, I've got all kinds of things to tell you. Like, this is close. I couldn't get AI to produce it exactly like it's supposed to be. I was trying to explain to AI that's helping me produce these pictures that I was in the middle of what would be a really big tornado if it was at that altitude, which was probably about 12,000 feet or so. Because I was about 11,000 feet. So maybe the cloud up there was at 12,000 feet. Maybe a little less, not very far over my head. And then it started to spin like this vortex. And I'd seen that before in Texas, but it was way high in the sky and very far from the ground. So you'll see these vortices, they'll start to spin, and sometimes they turn into a tornado, sometimes they don't. But you still have that spinning up there in the clouds. So what happened was it started spinning like right above me, and I saw it start to come down, but from a different angle than I'd ever seen before. Being in Texas, it was always from the side, and it was above me coming down. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. So I started to run. This was in Breckenridge up on, something view. Oh my goodness. I forgot the name. I'll think of it in a minute. Viewpoint. Was it Viewpoint? Oh crap. Anyway, so being up there just running, because that's where the lodge was, up there, and running because I'm like, let me run away from this thing. It's starting to come down from the cloud, but I didn't have like Texas time, and it's like, oh, it's a cloud that's 12,000 feet up, and I'm just about at sea level. So it makes this big long tornado all the way to the ground. I was like 1,000 feet below it. So I I ran, and then when it was like, uh-oh, I felt it, this weird, I don't know, this weirdness I felt. So I crouched down, I went down on, to my knees, and then I bent my head down, and I put my hands over my head, my Gen X training from, you have tornado drills all the damn time at school. And so you come out in the hallway and line up and crouch down and put your hands over your head. So that's what I did. Because it's like, this could be bad. oh my God, I couldn't run away from it. I dislocated or pulled one of my ribs out of the socket right there on my sternum. I ran so hard. It was breathing so hard, trying to run away. And I couldn't get enough air. Oh my gosh, because I was at 11,000 feet. I was in shape, but geez, you could only do so much. Oh, so it came down, and it came down up. AI misplaced the pile of stuff, but it was a pile that looked like that. So I'm in the freaking middle of this thing. It's a very first, let's say a tornado in Texas is 10 units tall. Whatever the dimensions are, however high it is, we'll just divide it into 10 parts. Let's say, you got the funnel at the top. Just like one little section is the funnel at the top, and then the next section it takes on a different shape, and all the way down to when it meets the ground is section number 1. So we're let's say we divide a whole tornado in Texas into 10 sections. What I experienced up there in the mountains, so close to it, was section 1 of a tornado. Does that make sense, you guys? So it wasn't like this tornado went, thousands of feet down to the ground. It was like right there. It was like 1,000 feet away. So section number 1 of a tornado, I was in the center of that. This thing, starting its swirling thing and just starting to form a funnel. That's at what stage this thing was. And AI didn't know how to create that. And I probably wasn't explaining it properly. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to describe? This being in the center of it. In the center of it, there was no wind. It wasn't even like a vacuum or anything like that. It felt like a void. And it was an odd feeling because it sounded like a freight train. It sounded like a freaking freight train that roared. It was enormous. And I was sitting there going, I'm not unalived. How, puppy? I'm not unalived. What is going on, and why am I not feeling air? Because the ditch was right there, but I ran until I'd been breathing for a while. My rib had popped out already of my sternum, and it hurt so bad, but I was still running until I didn't have enough oxygen. I had to stop. And that's where I stopped when I ran out of oxygen. And then just got in the crouch position, the protective position. Good thing I did, because it took everything out of the ditch. It picked everything up out of the ditch and flung it into a pile. That's supposed to be the lodge on the left, but the lodge makes like this L. So this pile that you see, it was all picked up, and the swirling, it was over there at the L position of the lodge and just dumped all the debris against the building. So I'm sorry, AI didn't quite get everything in place, and I hope you can visualize that. But at least I got all the components in there. So I was like trying to figure out, how can I get AI to create a picture of what it looks like in the center of a beginning of the formation of a tornado. And that's the best it could do. It still put something in the middle, but there was not anything in the middle. Puppy. Oh my God. So that was an incredible experience, and huge pain in the sternum area for quite a while until everything repaired itself. Just breathing was hard after that. But and then when I was trying to explain it to other people, I'm like, I sound like a crazy person. I sound like an insane person trying to explain. And again, it's still AI didn't do it justice, but it did. If you take out that center thing that looks like a tornado in the center, just remove that from your mind. I couldn't get AI to do that. And you see how you're in the middle of swirl, you're in the center. That's what it was like. Dumping all of that debris and about that high too. And it looked kind of like that because it was construction stuff. They were making these 13 homes in the middle of all of that, and all of the sheetrock that they had like stacked up, and all the plywood or whatever the materials were that they had stacked up. This thing picked it all up and like threw it around. So if I had been in that, something would have hit me. All that debris right there, and nothing touched me. I wasn't touched at all, except for just dislocating or pulling out my rib from my sternum. What? Dude, you go potty? Or were you wanting some turkey broth? Can I bribe you with turkey broth? What, you guys? I might be able to bribe her and get some more time to talk to you if I do some turkey broth. Now, looking at a vortex, which we're dealing with a vortex here in the mountains and all. This was the closest picture, except it wasn't on the tree. It was right in front of the tree. And it makes it look like it's just a part of the tree, this vortex or whatever. But it was actually in front where the stream forked. I couldn't get AI to make the stream go away from me because it was one stream and then it divided into two going downstream. Does that make sense? So this picture, it makes the water look like it's going in the opposite way. I'm so sorry, you guys. I got AI to do it as close as I could, and hopefully my explanations, you'll be able to visualize this properly. Okay, puppy, let's get you some turkey broth. Oh, that's a whole lot of turkey. That's way too much turkey broth. Yes, that's about 5 days worth of turkey broth. Crap. Okay, let's try this again. Turkey broth, but just 1 day's worth. Oh my God. Puppy's like, Mom, don't take it away. Okay. Hold on. She's just sitting here licking her lips. I mean, the dogs have lips. She's licking her lips. Okay, here you go. Oh my God. Holy crap, you've got turkey broth. You've got turkey broth. Oh, good girl. Excuse me. Okay, I've got her distracted for a minute. She's drinking her turkey broth, which sometimes makes it worse. Ugh. And then she's like, then she wants something else. It's like, well, if we're gonna have turkey broth, what else you got? So this is when I feel like I was in a portal in the middle of the woods in Breckenridge on Peak 6. This was Peak 6 in Breckenridge when all of this happened. When this is real close to what it looked like, but I was in a larger area that felt like it was a little bit more cleared than this, and it did have a boulder. There's this huge boulder, enormous, like you never forget it. It's so big in this area, and very similar to this. So think of her sitting in that other area. So in the middle of the woods, this is supposed to be me, ish. Close enough. There's brown hair and a ponytail. Close enough. So being in this place, in a vortex, or what I felt like was a vortex in the middle of the woods, my instinct from a lifetime of taking pictures and video, a lifetime. Ever since I could hold a camera, I was taking pictures. And as a favor, which don't ever do this, taking wedding pictures for relatives and so forth, just being on that level. Most of my life, taking pictures, then getting into the media, YouTube, where it's pictures and video. So that's what I do. My instinct, no matter what is happening, is to pick up the camera. Used to be a camera, now it's a phone with a camera on it. My instincts from a lifetime are to pick up the camera and take a picture. When this happened, I was like, that little instinct or whatever came up, like, oh my gosh, I want to see. I remember going through the thought process of, I'm going to take a picture of this and see if the camera sees it or if I'm the only one that sees it. Because sometimes my camera will take pictures of things that I see. I'm like, wait a minute, is that in this dimension, another dimension? Let me take a picture. And then immediately, immediately, it was just, no, I didn't feel scared, anything like that. It was just all of a sudden, but there was no urge to take a picture. And that is so, and it felt like it was my thoughts. That is not my nature. That's why I told you about that. That's not my nature. To just go, oh no, I'm not going to test this out and see if it's just my eyes or what. No, I would never do that. I would take the fucking picture. And something just said, was like, nope, don't take the picture. And I didn't. I did not take the picture. So that reminded me, and I had my own version of it in my head. So I thought, let me look up statistics of this 411 concept of going missing in the woods. Because in this, what I think is a vortex, that's, again, AI produced some pictures. This is what it looked like. And it was at the fork of the stream. There was a tree there that AI missed the tree on this picture. But I still wanted to show you what it looked like to my eyes. It looked like this. In other words, the center of the toroidal field is right there at ground level. See how it's a little skinnier and it gets wider as it goes up? Think about a toroidal field. That as it turns, like a vortex, it continues to get wider and it goes out like the top of a donut. Think about that shape. It keeps getting farther apart and wider at the top, kind of like a tornado. So I saw this. Think of if this this was from the ground up and getting bigger. How big is this sphere of the experience or the toroidal field? How big is the toroidal field? In other words, you're in this toroidal field up there on the mountains. You're in a portal, so to speak. See, the weird thing was being there was a trail off to the side where it's not a trail most people take, but some people will take that trail because it's a little more steep. And you'll see someone occasionally. And it was like, wait, it's been a really long time. And I haven't seen anybody on it. I haven't seen anybody. Nobody. And then I saw an otter. I saw an otter that just started to run. And it just ran across, the clearing and in between some trees and all, an otter out there. In my attempt to try to get AI I've still got the fork of water in there. Didn't quite get the vortex right. And it kept wanting to put the vortex on the tree. So in this time that I was in there, in this, area, it is just so beautiful. A beautiful place to have a picnic and spend a while, nice and sunny. Even though there was a lot of shading and shadow because of the trees and all, you can get tree bound and not get any sun. And that's when it's like really cold and you get trouble and you could be unalived like so fast. If, you're in the sun, you almost get too hot. That's why you layer when you go on hikes. You get in the shade, it's like parka time. It's so cold. So it was nice and sunny and, pleasant weather. And it felt like very surreal and unreal. So it was like, oh, it's probably time to go. So to allow, I want to leave at least an hour before the sun goes down. An hour or more. It's a about a 20-minute walk, but that's what I like to do. So right when I got outside of, if you kind of use your imagination and create a total field around yourself in this picture, when I got out of what I feel might be the edge of this area, all of a sudden it was dark clouds, everything. And it was just sunshine before, clear skies and sunshine. And I got right out of the proximity, and it was later in the day. It was almost dark. The sun was almost down. Like, wait a minute. I thought the sun was still up and really, bright. So a longer amount of time has passed than what I thought. Not really, and outside of the bubble, completely different sky than inside the bubble. Clear skies in the sun. Very deceptive. So that was my experience on Peak 6. So I went back, to do my trudging and so forth. Let's go back and take the trail. Oops, that's not the trail. Sorry. That's the Bigfoot stuff. Take the trail, get to the big boulder, get to the large boulder, which was the landmark. And this was a trail that's heavily traveled, that it can break off into several trails. And every trail has something that's either nailed or screwed to the trees to mark it. Like, you're on XYZ trail, and arrows, like, here's how you go to exit, or you go blah, blah, blah. There's maps all over the place, and everything is marked well. So there were markings to get to this place, even though this place was off trail. So it wasn't just that I saw the landmarks on the way and remembered, oh, it crosses the stream here and so forth. And I remembered all that on the way. Get to the place where you, I remember the place because you have to go on your hands and knees. It's so steep. You still don't have to like pull yourself up with your hands, but it's steep enough where you've got to get on your hands or hands and feet to crawl up. Puppy, little whiner. She's a Cancer, by the way. Just saying. So there's this little climb that you do. So I made the climb, and right after the climb, it was the huge boulder off to the left. Like, this is what it would look like after that little short climb, like hands and feet. And then boom, there I am. So this is where, let me show you. Like, you have this stuff going on, which then again AI did it in the wrong direction, but then it forked off, and so forth. Like, this feature was right behind that boulder, that huge boulder. There was the stream that had this huge tree, planted right there. I get 3 different versions of it with the same concept, with this vortex right there, where the stream, divided. So I go up there several times. I tried it 3 or 4 times, and the person that showed it to me, I'm like, you're gonna have to go up with me. I can't find it. It's not there. It's like, it has to be there. So this is a person that said that they visited this place multiple times in the past for several years, and it was like a go-to spot for them. In other words, they know how to get there. I went there once or twice, and it's easy to find it again. But they really, really knew where they were to go. So I thought, am I making a mistake? So I had the person that showed that area to me go in the first place. So we get up there. Oh, sorry about that. So we get up there. I look to the left. It's like, there's the boulder. It's like, see, here it is. And we go over there, and there's no stream. This is not there. This is not there at all. None of this is there. There's no stream. There's no forking of the stream. There's no gigantic tree. Nothing. It's gone. And the person, again, that had spent, I think they'd said like 2 years or so, like, when you can hike up there, not mud season or anything like that. And once it snows, it's kind of over. But, in the summer months, spent a ton of time in that area, and they liked it because you could still see the trails, but it was just right off the trail. And so it was kind of semi-secluded, and they like to go out there and have some peace. So they would go out there often. And it was, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm just freaking out for a second here. You like stop, telling yourself these stories and thinking about it for a while to try to normalize. It's like cognitive dissonance, cognitive dissonance. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm feeling these feelings again as I'm kind of reliving this in my mind to tell you what happened. Oh, good grief. So this area that included this fork in the stream and the otter and the way that the just the landscape of how the trees were laid out, and then it's kind of like this open area that went down to the stream where the otters, were going to the stream, obviously, duh. And none of that was there. None of this little open otter field. Nothing. Nothing. It was just woods. It just right behind the boulder. It looked just like that. Like, oh yeah, it's just, and then you just go into the woods. No stream, nothing. Nothing, you guys. Like, WTF. So that happened in Breckenridge, and I've told you guys in the past, like the story of this, and I think I'm putting in all the information, that I did not take a picture while I was there. And then the encounter on the trail. I could not get AI to do this properly, so it's the best I could do with AI making these structures that Sasquatch makes. When I was talking about, bending the trees, the trunks of the trees and all. This wasn't quite, but if you go and you look at the video on Colorado Bigfoot, and again, he might still have the footage from when we were out there, and you can actually see what it looks like, because AI just did not get it right. I still wanted to show you what AI created because I thought it was cool, but not quite what it looked like. But here's something weird. I do see stuff like this all over the place. When you go in the woods and you see this, and almost every time they're like, oh, that's behind so-and-so's property. They just, all these fallen trees that fall down, they just come and pile them up like that and all. And some of them make these like hut-like things, and those are all over the forest that look like this. But again, I'm not sure if this is associated with Sasquatch or not. What do you guys know about these structures like this? Again, telling AI to create a completely different picture, it created this, which again is something I saw, but not what I told AI to produce. AI did get this pretty right, only there were a lot more, huge kind of log, bigger than the trees that are still standing. The fallen logs like this were at least that big or bigger, going into like a trail where it looked like a trail went off, but there were so many fallen huge trees that you would have to go over and have a very difficult time going over, because with my little short legs, I'd have to completely get my legs off the ground to go over all of these trees. They were so big when I was with Colorado Bigfoot. And we did. Some of them I could get under. And, some of them, a lot of them you had to go over. They were enormous trees. And they were not cut. There were no saws or straight edges at all. They were broken. They were broken, at possibly like right above ground level. Just broken off. And the interesting thing about it is when you break a tree off that big, no matter how old it is, even if a bunch of stuff died on it, still has dead branches on it, live or dead branches, and they were all completely snapped off. Like the huge trees that were just ripped out, out of the ground, all the branches were neatly broken off. Not like nature did it, and there's a bunch of jagged ones here and there, and no, it looked like it was intentionally broken off and cleaned properly, and then laid out in a way that looks kind of natural, but would absolutely deter 99.99999% of the people walking by, except for Kelly and Colorado Bigfoot, and said, "Fuck this shit. We're over these trees." So. In that, again, AI didn't put enough trees down or big enough, but you get the idea of where there's a trail, but you're like, there's so many fallen trees and all, would it be worth it to go down there? If I go down there, there's probably not going to be anybody else there either. So that's the kind of places that Colorado Bigfoot and I went. That you could tell that some larger beings, and not tractors and backhoes and all of the cats, and all of the equipment, heavy machinery type equipment for excavating and building houses and so forth. It would require stuff on that level to carry these, and there were no tracks. There was, I mean, this picture doesn't show exactly how it was up there, but there's no way with all the the way that you had to get up there on foot. You could not get a pickup up there. You couldn't get any equipment up there in the first place unless you helicoptered it in to that area. You would have to do ridiculous things to get the right equipment in this really remote area, because you couldn't naturally get it there. And if you did, it would have destroyed the land on the way, and you would have seen it. And in this area, I know it doesn't look like the picture, but in this area, there was no room. Like if you were trying to get equipment up there again, you'd have to helicopter it, because at times going through the forest, there's no way you could drive anything through the forest with how thick the trees were. So how would you get the equipment up there in the first place? And then in this area where the trees are so close together, there's no equipment small enough that could move something that big. While I was up there, I was making all these calculations in my mind, like, this can't be, constantly trying to say, oh no, I think Bigfoot is real, but there's still that little part of me that doesn't believe it. So I'm looking at it as what could have possibly done this that's not Bigfoot. Could they get forklifts and stuff up here to move these trees and all? No, there's no room. There's no room. So then over and over, it's kind of like, well, and then let's think about this. If you did get equipment up there and you got fancy equipment, logging equipment and so forth, let's say that happens magically, you would have cut edges. I've watched YouTube. I see how it's done with these logging machines. You have freshly sawed, freshly cut, flat surfaces when these things are cut. These were broken. None of them were cut. Not even like axe chopped. Yeah, in a weird, beaver kind of way. How a beaver will take down a tree. I even have ends like that where any tools were used. It's just a crack and it's broken. And those were at the entrance. So we got over all of those and got into this area, and I felt fine. And Colorado Bigfoot was like, they don't like men for some reason. And they like women. That's why I wanted you to come along. Because, like telepathically and all, he thought that they might talk to me, because they like right after I told him I would do the show, it's like I was telepathically, or whatever the fancy words are, contacted by the Sasquatch that are there. And it was on the level of what we would call a spiritual grouping or gathering of Sasquatch together, because they function in another dimension. So they're there, but they make an appearance here in the third dimension. It takes energy and all kinds of stuff to make an appearance here and to materialize here. In other words, they can be in another dimension in a tree. While the three-dimensional tree is being created, they're in plasma, and they know they're in plasma. They understand the fourth dimension, and they, according to what I was told, they wrap themselves in the fourth dimension, and that's why you don't see them. So interpret that however you like. So out, in this area, not the same time, but something similar with, Colorado Bigfoot. And again, AI gave it 6 toes. I didn't tell it to. AI just gave it 6 toes. I have no idea if Sasquatch has 5 or 6 toes. Does anybody in here know? I can't remember. Again, the picture is on my Instagram and my Facebook, and you can find the picture. And it's in that video of Colorado Bigfoot. The footprint is there as well. So we were in this area, and this area that we were in when we went past, stuff like this, and there were footprints all over the place, but no toes. Everywhere you went, it was about 100 yards, like a football field wide, let's say. This area that Colorado Bigfoot and I were in, about a football field wide, and it went for 6 miles. Where not the ground was altered, the atmosphere was humid. Anybody that's gone to the mountains knows nothing's humid up here. Nothing. It is so dry. Oh, it's the driest place that you can come to, Colorado. And so there's no humidity, and you get into this area where all these, I didn't get a good picture of it, but there's this grid system of trees on the ground that goes for 6 miles. And every tree trunk that has been obviously ripped out of the ground and stripped of its branches, every single one on the ground. And if these were just fallen trees, they would randomly be all over the place. Not stripped of branches, moved away from where they fell. Let's pretend they did fall. There's no trunk right there where they fell. They've been moved. Let's pretend all of those are fallen trees. They were moved from where their trunk was. Who moved them, if not broke them off and placed them? Took all the branches off and then placed them. So for 6 miles in a football field across, this grid system was all along the ground. And it wasn't just a hexagon or an octagon or whatever. It was in a fluid type natural flow, but it had multiple angles to everything. Had multiple angles. And when I looked at it, I saw the layout, and I avoid electricity because of fear of electricity. We won't get into that right now. But I still, even though I don't want to know anything about electricity, so I will not be tempted to work on an outlet or any system myself, because I'm terrified of electricity. But I see how this layout, think of when you have a swimming pool. You guys, this is important. This is plasma shit. When you have a swimming pool and you're looking at it, it's a sunny day and it's shining through your swimming pool, and there's a person or two in the swimming pool and it's splashing around. You guys know the different geometric type shapes that are created from the movement of the water that in shadow form on the bottom of the pool. Are you following me so far? All those geometric shapes, let's say. So let's say you take a photograph of the shadow of all of these little geometric waves and stuff that's moving. And you take a picture of that. Like that, we'll say, was a layout. Because think about it, the surface, the surface of the ground, and you've got this grid system on it, and it's just flat. It's one plane. So when you see Sasquatch territory and all of these grid systems on the ground, let's say it's a photograph of one plane of this plasma. So they lay it out in a grid system with all of these trunks that are ripped from the ground or broken off at whatever level, stripped of the branches and laid out in this very natural pattern that to me could resemble the shadow of moving water in a swimming pool, which to me looks like plasma. So to me, it looks like Sasquatch understands that this is mere one plane of a whole reality. It's just one plane. So it makes sense to me, understanding patterns and so forth, how they would lay out this grid system of a pattern of the shadows that they would like to express in that place, to alter it. Understanding like there's a 3-dimensional version of this in the whole plasma field. So it looks like a manipulation of energy in the 3rd dimension, which seems to be very flat. That kind of mimics a 3-dimensional system is more like a 2-dimensional system. And it depends on all the angles. How many angles are there? Subtract 1, and that's the dimension it's creating. Puppy, What's going on? Oh, good morning, Ken. Good to see you in here. Good to see all of you guys. Could you guys survive me taking Puppy to go out to potty? Could I'm thinking that's what's going on with her. It was snowing. I mean, there's a ton of snow out there. It's starting to melt and everything. But I've kind of avoided taking her out. And I did give her a bunch of turkey broth. Could you guys handle it if I come back? Let me put my coat on. Let me get my jacket on. It's cold out there. Could you guys handle me leaving for a minute or so? Oh, gosh. Let me take Puppy out. Oh, I'm so sorry, Puppy. Hey, let's get your harness on. Oh, gotta get your harness on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let's get your harness on. There we go. Okay. Be still. Be still. Okay. Don't look up. Like I just start to fasten like her harness on, and she'll look up at me, and she'll completely move. And it's like, I get you in the right place. Stop moving. There, that's better. See what happens when you're still. You get fastened fast. I'm so sorry, you guys. Please give me like 5 minutes. You want me to play a song? I don't think I have a song on this one. Let me play a song. And that's a Sasquatch where I was out with Colorado Bigfoot. Like that was one of the ones. See how kind it looks? It looks like it's like a spiritual, type of entity and so forth. Hey, Puppy. So let me just play one of my songs, if that's okay. I'll play one of my cool songs, and I will see you guys in 3 to 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Going on a puppy break. If anybody wants to write that in the comments or something, I went on a puppy break. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. Hey guys, it's me, Kelly. Oh my gosh, thank you for your patience. Taking puppy out. All right. All right. Let me make sure I was taking care of puppy. She's in the snow. I'm watching her closely. Make sure she's okay. You okay out there? Good job. So, I take my earmuffs off and go refresh my tasty beverage. You guys get a refill? Get a refill? Oh dear, that means she's coming in. Hey, Callie. Guess what? You just won an all expense paid trip to Inside. Yes. Oh, I know. She has her. Wow, what a lucky day. This is my lucky day. So you ready to come inside? Obviously barking is the signal that you can't handle. You can't handle this. Oh my God, your paws. Come on, let's get your paws. Come on. Here, let's get this paw. Oh, okay. One at a time. We can't get 3 of your paws at a time. We need the other paw. Other paw. Your other. Swing. Oh, good girl. Okay, now go in your plats. What a good girl. You did so good. All right. Woo. Good grief. Let me wash my hands. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, man. Back to Bigfoot. Back to Bigfoot. And crazy shit. So I thought, okay, when I went on Tenderfoot, and I got off trail the first time, and I went up like right by the stream, and everything was at a 45-degree angle. My hiking, excuse me, everything was at a 45-degree angle. So I'm like really old people, and like the guy said he had a hip replacement. Hey, get in your plats. Get in your plats. The guy had a hip replacement, and he's like, "Oh, this is a great trail," and I'm like, "I'm pretty fit, and this is hard for me at that 45-degree angle, and I'm having to go under these trees and over these bushes, and I'm cut and scraped, and so I got to where the river, started forking and everything, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't go on any farther. What's going on? This person said follow the stream. I can't follow it anymore. Like, maybe it's time to go back. And I seriously did not. So I started hearing like these kids. They said, "Oh, it's kid friendly and family friendly, this trail." And I'm like, this is not kid friendly. Not. If this is Florida, I would have already been eaten by alligators. So I'm like, oh my God, however far in I was in, like 2.5 miles or whatever, that I had followed the stream on this wild and untamed land. So I'm hearing people talking and kids laughing and like, what is going on? I look up. This is on Tenderfoot the first time I was on it. I look up and I'm seeing just like bits and pieces of, it's about a 45-degree angle going up this, side of a hill, I guess. And the trail was right there at the top. I'd say 30 yards away of climbing up this hill that's full of pine needles and layer upon layer of whatever has fallen off of the trees over the years. That's the type of dirt there is. So I was faced with this. Do I go back the 2.5 miles at a 45-degree angle the other way? Get myself scraped up again, going under those trees and over those bushes and with these, waist high grass to walk through. And I'm like, I thought this was a trail. Doesn't look like anybody's walked through here in a while. A long while. Ugh. So I'm like, I've been off trail the whole time. What? So I'm like, I made the decision. I'm not walking back the 2.5 miles. God, at a 45-degree angle. And so I started climbing, and I found out real quick, you have to climb fast. You have to climb really fast. Because if you stop climbing, you start to slide down. So you've got to climb faster than you're sliding, because you're sliding the whole time. And I did not have any gloves on, anything like that. Oh, I learned a lot. I learned what to bring with you while you're just randomly out following the stream. When someone suggested that you take the Tenderfoot trail, it's like, well, how do I know where the trail starts and all of that? They're like, well, you just follow the stream. I took that literally. You don't tell autistic people to follow the stream. You tell them, well, there's this path that is leveled. They came in there with all this construction equipment and have this leveled path that's easy to walk on, family friendly and all that. And it follows the stream. It's just over, just a few yards. That would have been helpful information. But since I did get off trail, I kind of liked it. It was like so wild and untamed. Like I could have been unalived. And it was just this invigorating feeling. But then it's like, I think if I get some walking sticks, it might make this hiking easier, whether I'm on or off trail. So that was my first experience with Tenderfoot, is when I got to the top of that hill, however many yards it was, 20, 30 yards or so, to the top of that hill. Oh my God. I had never been so happy to find an old people with like hip surgery kind of trail. Toddlers love to tra-la-la down. Oh, I did the proverbial bend down and kiss the ground. I literally bent down and kissed the fucking ground. I was so thankful. And then I completely understood. They meant there's a trail by the stream. Don't just walk by the stream. So then I thought, well, this took a while to travel 2.5 miles at a 45-degree angle when I was walking on. That sloped down to the stream at a 45-degree angle the whole way on these pine needles most of the time. So very, very difficult walk. So I thought, well, this Tenderfoot, let me try this again on another day. And let's see if I do try this again, if the trip will be different. Maybe I can go farther, faster, if I'm on a level trail. So I still took my walking sticks because I knew I'd have to cross the stream in a couple places. And I didn't want to get my feet wet. So I brought the sticks to make sure that I could get across. So I get a few miles in to the woods. Oh, hold on. Different pictures. Sorry. Different pictures. Where are the pictures? Oh, here it is. So I'm on this trail, which, this is not bad, is it? Think about that. If you've had hip surgery, that's not too bad. So even if it goes up, you can see that you can just gradually step on these stones. So I'm doing this all by myself up there, up at Tenderfoot, I don't know, 2.5 mile mark, 3 mile mark or so. And, walking sticks, I'm getting to places that everybody can get to. In other words, once you pass the stream and everything, there's hardly anybody there. Because most people are just going to go out for a walk and then go home. And not to go over where the stream crosses the trail. Well, I did that. And I think the cabins and whatever I was after was about 6 miles in or so. I'm trying to remember, but I didn't get that far. So while I was out there and I was walking a place similar to this, the trees were a little bit smaller around than these large ones, and they were pretty uniform. In other words, at some time, something went through, there was a fire or something, and completely destroyed the trees, and there was a do-over in that area. So all the trees, and however big they were exactly the same size and height and all of that. But smaller than some of the other forests that were like larger trees. Oh, hold on, I have a pop-up. There. Okay, I got rid of it. So in this area, that one, I guess, just to the left of the trail, that's about how big they were. That's how big all the trees were in this area. So I was walking, and it was just really odd. As I was walking to kind of the top, I was going over one hill, you go over the top, you'd go down a little bit, then you'd go back up and down. So the hills up there at that part of the trail were just kind of rolling up and down a little bit. And I felt very isolated all of a sudden. It was off the trail. You know, there's a trail there that people went on, but it was still very isolated and nobody there but me. At that time of the day, everybody had already started down. Because I would ask the people that were coming down, oh, is there anybody else up there? And, you know, at that one point, it's like, oh, no, you're the last one, they said. And they said at this point, no one else would be going up there. So I just found the trail from going off trail in an inexperienced way. I'm like, well, I'll be the first. I did not know. Anyway, I did, up and down on a couple hills. And then it was like, this is weird. I don't hear any sounds. Like, not just, squirrels and stuff like that. And there was no breeze. There was no air. There was no breeze at the time. But the trees are constantly moving, if that makes sense. There's always a little tiny little movement somewhere going on in the forest, even if there's no air and no wind. So turgor pressure's going up and down. That stopped. So it wasn't just, tiny little critters, medium-sized critters, whatever. I didn't hear anything. No birds. And before, how they just kind of fly from tree to tree, and although they don't make all that much noise, there is just a light noise going on. Like you can, even though nothing's there, you can hear something, even though there's nothing to hear. It's forest sounds. I don't know how to explain it. It's forest sounds. And I was on the trail, but I was right beside the stream. I was right beside the stream, and you could hear it. It wasn't like huge, like the Arkansas, river over here, but you could still hear it. So it wasn't just the birds and the tiny little critters and the just off movements of the trees and the forest. The stream, I could not hear the stream. That's what freaked me out, and why I looked in the direction of the stream, and I was looking at it like, this is weird. Why can't I hear the stream? Because it was odd anyway that the whole forest went quiet, but it wasn't that just the forest went quiet. It was like this void. There's this absence of something, almost like an abyss that sound might fall into. I'm saying that poorly. So it's not just that the forest was quiet. It's almost like if it made a sound, you couldn't hear it because it fell into a void. The stream sound fell into a void. I'm not describing it exactly like it is. I don't. Why do I keep getting these pop-ups? I'm sorry, you guys. like pop-up city here. Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, Faith. Good to see you guys. So while I was sitting there looking at the stream, going, this is a weird place where the stream starts to fork and it starts to go away. And that's interesting, you guys. Have you heard of anything? Because I looked a lot of stuff up. What is similar to my experience and other people's? So here's another fork in the water where the water goes from like one stream to two, or where two are feeding one. And that was a situation in that area. Again, where, two turned into one with the water. So while I was trying to figure out why I couldn't hear the stream that was right there from behind me, and it was close. I mean, within a few feet, under 10 feet, it had to be under 10 feet, like immediately right behind me. Crack, like an explosion, like, a lightning crack, or a branch popping crack. So I thought it was a branch. I couldn't see it. It was behind me. I thought it was a branch that had broken with such force that it was possibly something stepping on the branch. So in my mind, and my terrified mind, I visualized a huge bear stepping on some kind of a, fallen tree trunk or something and breaking it. It was so loud that it had to be a creature that's enormous. That's where my mind went when I heard that loud pop and that crack. And I was terrified. It's like that loud pop. Well, like lightning will do it too, where it's like you weren't expecting it. It was so loud, this big pop with lightning. And then it's like you have to jump start your own heart again because it's so terrifying. So this sense of, oh my God. And I felt like awfulness, like terror. Like I felt fear and terror on an extreme level. And then I was surprised at how quickly I accepted that I was going to be unalived. I didn't know what was going to unalive me, but I knew in a few seconds or so, whatever I just heard was going to unalive me. And, there was that terror feeling at the beginning. And then within about 1 or 2 seconds, complete relaxation and acceptance of what was about to happen. That shocked me at how quickly I accepted that in a few seconds, I'm not going to be here anymore. And this odd calmness came over me. So I thought in that moment, it sounds like this took a long period of time. This was just seconds. So I thought, well, if something's going to devour me or slice me, dice me, or whatever, I want to see what it is before it gets me. So I thought, let me see what is about to end my Earth experience. So I turn around slowly. I turn around. You guys, there was nothing there. There was nothing there. Nothing. Not a broken branch, a broken tree. And it was right behind me. It was right behind me. Nothing. Nothing, you guys, nothing. From that crack that sounded like lightning striking. Oh my God. To nothing's there. Well, at first it was like, oh, I'm not going to be eaten by something. A bear. Sounded bigger than a bear, though. Like whatever a bear could do to make a sound or break something. And no, it had to be bigger than a bear with its full weight stepping on something. There's no way. It had to be bigger. So I could never explain what was that broken thing. Because I looked around, quite quickly, kind of pre-PTSD. You see everything. Oh my God. So it's terrified. Suddenly I look up and it was black. The sky was black above me. Like black clouds. This is a different picture in a different time, but kind of like that is what happened. And I'm like, whoa, that happened quickly. What is going on? It's like this storm that you see in Colorado, that people are always unalived in these storms. And I'm looking up and seeing one of those. It's full of lightning, rain, and then all of a sudden the temperatures go to below freezing. And then you're out there not equipped. And you just got on your hiking clothes. So you can see how you can be unalived really fast if you're not paying attention. So I look up and this is bad. Horrible weather. Like ridiculous kind of stuff. Like, I'm going to be unalived. I better make the fastest descent off of this mountain that I can possibly make. So here I'm terrified that there was something huge behind me about to eat me. I turn around, there's nothing there, which I was very thankful for, but now very confused. And what did I hear right behind me? But terrified enough that on my speedy descent down the mountain, very, very, very fast. Very, very, I think I won some type of record on the way down. Every single stump in the forest to me was a bear. When I was running down, I was like, oh, a bear. Oh, no, it's a stump. Oh my God, a bear. Oh, no, it's a stump. Oh, bear. No, it's a stump. But that was motivation to get down that mountain faster. Because every stump was a bear. So I'm going as fast as I can. There's nobody. I was the only person on the damn mountain. Oh my God. Like, geez. So I'm like, I put this energy out, like, I'm not going to die unalive. I'm not going to unalive. And then in an I mean it kind of feelings, I said to the black cloud, like in this one, if you're going to do your thing, you wait till I get in my car. Like I commanded the clouds, the storm or whatever, that you're not going to rain at all till I'm in my car. And I was terrified at that moment going, I'm going to be unalived if I can't get down this mountain, because I'm at least a couple miles in, like 2 miles in, and to be going down the mountain in this storm. So I was like, I couldn't see unalivement in my future, so I shook my finger at the clouds and told it not to rain until I got in my car. Oh my gosh. And then I was thinking to myself, is it really going to not rain? This is serious. This is unalivement for this avatar. Like I was so unprepared, for this. And not having like a huge amount of experience in all of their. So then I got down to the trailhead where my car was. Oh. So I got down there where my car was. I got in my car. You can tell I just got to the mountains because I had a car, not a truck. So I got in my car and I started the engine. And as I did, the very first raindrop fell on my windshield. The first raindrop of what happened after that. So I was able to drive home, get home safely. By the time that horrific storm went through with lightning and, freezing winds and rain and so forth. So now, what kind of perspective do I look at? What could I find? Is this, I listened to other people's accounts, and this is what I envisioned was possibly going on behind me. So it's been, being so good at remote viewing, but when there's something like that, I can't see it at all. so so there's like, what happened? What really happened? So I was just thinking a few days ago. I was interested in this, and I thought you might be interested in it as well. Maybe you're not. But I thought there was something about that crack. If that cracking sound was not a branch being broken or a tree trunk being broken off, which just sounded, like that, like lightning. If that wasn't it, and my guess is something like this picture was going on, it's generated by AI, if you couldn't tell. I made sure that there was like this cool ponytail. I was like, AI gave me like this shitty bun. And I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, make me have a cool ponytail. Like, don't make it look like I like fancy fixed it or anything because I'm in the middle of the woods. But don't give me a shitty ponytail. So there, you got a ponytail. AI gave me a ponytail. So this is in my thoughts about my own experience going, what if this was, again, being a really good remote viewer, but can't see my own self in my own situation. What if it was a portal? What if it was a Sasquatch coming through a portal to scare the shit out of me, to get me off that goddamn fucking mountain so I don't fucking get unalived? What if something like that happened? So I just, being very new to AI and knowing that it's programmed, I go to AI with this because at least it looks up information for me and it'll do statistics for me and so forth without me relying on it and its program to tell me what's going on in the world. So I said, go out there into the abyss and find information that relates to the story I just told you, because I, said all of this to AI. And I said, go find something that matches or is similar out there in the world with other people's experiences. Did anybody else have an experience like this, or it was just me? So when I first started to look it up, I looked up, okay, if you've got a portal, if you've created a portal, is there a sound that is made with that portal? If a tree falls in, what was that? If a tree falls in the woods, did anybody hear it? If a portal forms behind me and Sasquatch is telling me to get off the mountain, am I going to hear something? And if so, what am I going to hear? In my research, do your own. A cracking or popping sound is common. That lightning strike intensity. Think about it as ripping of time and space. Time and space has been ripped. What would that sound like? With technology. It's ripped. Not like the guys at the gym. I never understood why guys, went to the gym and it's like, oh, I'm going to buff up for the ladies. And the ladies are like, I'd rather you have a dad bod. I'm not dating, by the way, but if I was, I'm not going to go for that. And then it was like, oh, that's what men think are important. So they assume women are going to think, these buffed up bodies are important because other men do. And then we just aren't interested. I'm sorry, I got off track. Back to Sasquatch in a portal. So what kind of sound does a portal make? Crack is what I found. And I said, okay, give me a bunch of statistics. So I had AI give me so much freaking information. And I hope this is helpful to you. Dude, if you feel like this show is fearful, you guys, if you feel fear during this show, please don't watch it. Please don't share it. But if you feel like this brings some answers to you, or if you're looking at it from a different angle or perspective, instead of going into a place of fear, please watch and please share and like and subscribe and hit the bell, because you'll know when I have future shows talking about crazy shit like Bigfoot and all. Ken. Sounds like Ken's had one of those experiences. Let's see. And then let's see what statistically all over the world we can find similarities to these experiences. So Ken says, I've been in the woods and had this overwhelming feeling I was being watched. I felt that too, Ken, right before. Like when everything went quiet, I felt like I was being watched. I felt that too. This is so common. Wow. So you were in the woods. I'm sure you don't want to put out details in all, like deep in the woods. Were you on a trail? Were you off trail? You know, I don't want you to give away your location or whatever, but like details like that. What were you past the big trees when this happened? I looked up in the trees for mountain lions. Oh gosh, that's always a concern. Although at Breckenridge, there were mountain lions all over the place. You'd see them everywhere, you guys, these mountain lions. But they left people alone. I mean, they'll leave you alone if you leave them alone. They're trying to chase the little stuff. You know, and people, I mean, really, there's a lot of preservatives. Why would they want to eat you? You know, the squirrels have not eaten at a burger joint. So, let's see, mountain lions, nothing there, but I still sensed I was being watched. So I left. I know a lot of people will report that I found when I did the research. I found that. So let me find my research. Where did I put it? Over, boom, over here. So in this, I've got a lot of information. Do you guys, would you like me to do a part 2 with this information? Or would you like me to continue on this video? Please tell me your preference, because it's probably going to take 30 minutes to go through this information of other people's experiences in the middle of the woods and portals and Bigfoot and the Kraken. Release the Kraken in the middle of the woods. So for that information, because this could go into a part 2, and then I could just just do that in a few minutes. I want to put both segments out today. Just Carrie says continue. Faith says continue. Oh, cool. Okay, cool beans, you guys. Let's continue. If you're cool with that, do you want me to take a little break? Or like before we do this information and all, let's go get some water. Let's hydrate. Because if you guys get to an understanding or something, then it's that electromagnetic energy in your body or electricity in the body, and there's a lot of it. And salt water, saline, is the best non-ferrous conductor of electricity that I've found, at least in the third dimension, and that your body's full of it. You're full of it, you guys. You're just fucking full of it. So because of that, there could be in the third dimension a result of dehydration if you do a lot of letting go and allowing and so forth. Giving myself a reason to fill up my cup. It's like, Kelly, you told everybody else to hydrate, but you did not. It's like, what's up with that, Kelly? What's up? What's up? Wait, I thought I turned that back on. Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta run some more hot water through this. I'm putting it through my coffee maker to make my hot water. Okay. I might do some goat's milk hot chocolate. Uh-oh, I said the G word. The GM word. You know who likes that stuff. Oh, I did not just say that out loud. Okay, you guys. Yeah, you have your break. You get your drink. My water's heating right now, so I'll jump up and get that in a minute. Just in case, I'll start through the information, and some of you might not be ready yet, so that's okay. We'll have 2 breaks. So what we're doing right here, I had AI. I'm finding AI is this marvelous tool of information I can find myself, but I program AI to go out there and find more information and not only just get the information, but pro and con and everything, and pluses and minuses and compare and contrast. And what about this? I get AI to do all these statistics for me. I took statistics classes and stuff at college, so I can see how statistics can be manipulated. So what I'm asking AI to do is go out there and find different statistics. So we'll see if it works. So this is kind of like a weirdness motif, paranormal UFO folklore. It contains the Oz factor. Okay, you guys. Now the Oz factor. Let me get a picture. Where's a picture of the Oz factor? Feels kind of like the potential of like something like this. Like you're in a place that's like, well, this looks like Earth, but it's quite different than Earth. Rules are different in this place. A place that when you have a portal, because think about this portal right here. A portal is the center of a toroidal field. All of these portals that you see, they're like rings and so forth, are the center of a toroidal field. Good, that's good news. But then think of Sasquatch showing itself like this to you. Which way is that toroidal field pointing? Was a sound barrier broken? Makes probably about the same sound barrier being broken. When I watch Stargate shows, and they've got those portals that turn into plasma or water like. It's plasma and it punches out. Does anybody remember hearing a cracking or a boom sound when any of that happens? I don't remember. I'm going to watch it again today. It's snowing outside right now, like a lot of snowing, so I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm making my own sushi. Oh crap, she knows that word too. I'm sorry, puppy. Oh, I know. She knows the S word. I know. My bad. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'll make some rice, though. You can have just a little bit of rice, not a lot. But I'll let you have a little bit. I've got the basmati. Okay, so back to portals. So if you've got a portal or an opening like this, what this is, with this opening, it is a toroidal field. And so what is the center of a toroidal field? It's plasma. It's a plasma disk. So you've got this plasma disk at the center of a toroidal field. That out of this plasma disk comes pure white light consciousness bubbles. It goes all, it twirls like a tornado, and it comes up at the same time. It goes around and it comes back underneath and then comes back up. I call it the reverse butthole of the toroidal field. The black hole of the toroidal field is basically all the choices that we made to have this experience. Oh, you can, while you're having this video game experience, Kelly, you can pick, I'll be simple, path A or path B. It's like, oh, I'll pick path A. Why not? Everything. The alphabet starts with A. I'll pick that one. So you have experience A for whatever it's worth. So on this toroidal field, after you have the experience, it falls apart. It just becomes little fragments of what you chose and that pathway you chose. So when it comes back, or it separates itself, and then it comes back around and comes back together in the black hole, and then you see it in its entirety before it goes into the portal, and everything's kind of returned back to the shelves of the grocery store, going through the portal. So what will happen if you're in this experience that seems like a life review? Oh, here's all of your life in just a split second. You experience your entire life, because in the black hole, everything is touching. That sounds so bad. Oh my God, Gen X went there. I'm so sorry. So when all of these things come together, you see it as the butthole of your life. Like, that was shitty. And literally shitty. My life. Oh, those regrets that I have. Oh, I feel so guilty about this and that and the other. And I'm blaming myself, and I should punish myself for all these decisions I made. I'm taking this seriously. I can't let go of that. So that's what going through the black hole experience is, that life review. Does that make sense? So when you go through a life review with the next cycle or whatever, you go through the portal, and that's what we're doing, is reset. We're ending back up in a plasma field, in a disk that's a plasma field. And we're scared right now because we're looking at the fucking butthole of the toroidal field and all the choices that we made that we're still haven't let go. If it's forgiveness or whatever, we're still trying to control the situation or prove to somebody It's just us trying to prove to ourselves. Self-reflection day. It is good news day, but it's self-reflection day. So I asked AI to go out there and find as many stories as you can and accounts of people being in the middle of the woods that, still had a voice, if you know what I mean. They were still there to tell their story. What story did they tell? What story did they tell? Well, let's find out. So, let's play Where's My. At least it's not Where's My Pants today. I got that one. I have them on. It's the why I know where they are. So we've got the Oz factor and the forest being muted. You hear that a lot. Also, a very common Bigfoot encounter motif is sudden quiet, one huge crack or a knock, plus a feeling of dread. So mundane but surprisingly powerful acoustics, human perception, plus fast weather. Yeah, like these black clouds came out of nowhere. Like when I left that other area, when I feel like I was in a vortex. So the void of sound has a name in high strangeness circles. Like, yay. In a UFO and paranormal literature, they talk about a stillness, an isolation feeling, sometimes describing like being moved into a copy of reality. That would make sense to me. So Jenny Randles coined the term Oz factor. So that's kind of the official term. Has anybody heard of the term Oz factor? For this altered reality bubble. And it's repeatedly summarized as isolation, stillness, and disconnection from normal environmental cues. Yeah, every time I got out of the bubble, suddenly it was different. Suddenly there was this terrible storm from nowhere. So the reason this matters is it's not just the birds stop chirping. This is the stream sounds drop out. Ambient micro noise drops out. Couldn't hear my own breathing. You guys, I could not hear myself breathing. That's what was going on wherever I was. That's what I'm saying. There was no sound. It wasn't just that it went quiet and I could hear my own breathing. I could not hear my own breath. Muted world, bubble, not quite normal. Oz factor, eerie silence. So the Oz factor isn't just UFOs. It's reported in the woods as well. Oh my God. So there's UFO information about this quiet factor. Wow. It's being reported in the woods, cryptid encounters, and missing 411 storytelling. That's what I was interested in. So here's some information. A single violent crack or a knock is a classic Bigfoot report detail. Across Bigfoot report database, BFRO, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with these. Do you guys know them? NAWAC. What do those stand for if you want to look it up and share in the comments? And other complications. Oh, compilations. My bad. Compilations. Wood knocks, tree breaks, and what? What you whining about? Why my puppy whining? Girl, why are you whining? Hold on. So they show up constantly as the punctuation mark of the encounter, often paired with sudden quiet and a feeling of being watched. I had all of that. Important nuance. Within the Bigfoot community, knocks are interpreted in multiple ways. Communication, intimidation, get out of here, curiosity, presence, signing. So it was not a knock. It was a crack. It was not a knock. Not a knock at all. So we got scared into leaving. This is an interpretation, like a wide range of people report this. I got scared into leaving. it might have saved me from the storm. That's how I felt. There's two trains of thought. Either the Sasquatch, the portal, the whatever happened created the weather and put me in danger to get me out of there, or it was happening anyway and I was helped. What view do you have? So portals, people claim that there are portals, but it's mostly just testimony. We don't have pictures or anything like that. And I always question anything out in the media. Oh, Kelly, this person opened a portal in their bedroom. Oh, but in an AI kind of way, I don't know if they really did or not. Is it AI or not? There's a whole interdimensional Bigfoot subgenre that explicitly connects Sasquatch to UFOs, portals, and liminal phenomena. Remember, we looked up liminal the other day, you guys. It's common in podcasts and blogs in some other researcher circles, where other people are talking about this, but it's not something the mainstream Bigfoot databases treat as established fact. In other words, they probably have just this big, huge criteria. And if someone just talks about an encounter, well, we don't have picture or video. Do people report portals in Bigfoot woods accounts? My question. The answer was yes. They do in high-strangeness circles, where they talk about it, the Oz factor, the UFO, and the UAP framing as well. So, but the portal claim is usually interpretive, meaning laid over odd sensory effects, not a consistent evidentiary element like tracks of vocalizations or sighting distance. And I propose, do portals make a popping or cracking sound? In the research, it's like, hey, look this up. And information, like there isn't a scientific catalog of portal sounds because portals aren't an established physical phenomenon. This is a Google search, by the way. What you can say is witnesses often describe electrical crackle, snap, thunder-like pop, or tearing when they believe something opened. But these reports live in folklore and testimony. So just, I just want to let you know where these came from. Space, not measured acoustic space. See, a funny side note was the sound designers also default to thunder, cracking, crackle, tearing layers when they try to invent a portal sound. Hey, did you guys know that? You're learning something every day, because that's what the human brain accents as reality ripping. But I heard it. I don't know what it was, but I heard it, you guys. A grounded explanation for the stream went silent. So here's a potential physical reason that the stream went silent. Besides, I was in a Bigfoot driven portal. Here's a possibility. You make up your own mind what happened. For me, it scared the bejesus out of me, and I got the fuck down that mountain and got in my car just as it started to rain and storm. That's my version of it. I'm all right about that. Let's see, a grounded explanation for the stream went silent without dismissing the experience, obviously. It's a possibility of why you could have been in a live zone of sound. If you bracket the paranormal interpretation for a second, there are natural mechanisms that can dramatically change perceived sound on a trail. Acoustic shadow. Does anybody know about that? Sound shadow, terrain plus wind. There was no wind at the time. Plus atmospheric conditions can create zones where sound propagation is reduced or redirected. I've experienced that, like where it gets very humid. Sound tends to travel and be louder when it's more humid. So I understand that there are situations like that, but I've never had something like a stream go silent on me. That has never happened. That was weird. And again, no wind, to blow the sound waves away or whatever, or anything like that. I can understand, but it was like zero sound, in a void kind of sound, and then a crack. But these are possibilities of physical things that it could be. Sound refraction in the atmosphere, temperature and wind gradients. Again, I didn't experience winds at the time. can bend sound paths so that a source is loud one moment and oddly absent the next. But it was everything. It was just it was odd. No wind. See, attention, stress effects. When adrenaline spikes, now adrenaline did not spike until the sound was gone and I heard the crack. Then probably massive truckloads of adrenaline dumping through my system. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, I'm sure there was quite a bit of adrenaline after the crack because it was just the sound going away was odd and me trying to figure it out, and then the kraken, release the kraken. So no, I didn't imagine any of that. No, the terror and the fear came after the crack, and the going down as fast as I physically and possibly could, and probably in a superhuman kind of way at times. Going, am I going to make it down this mountain, or am I going to be eaten by a stump bear? Because every stump looked like a bear to me with my peripheral vision all the way down. You guys, just a stump where a tree had fallen. Oh my God, what animal is that that's going to eat me? I had instant PTSD all the way down the mountain. Oh my God, another bear stump. Another bear stump. What's a stump? Okay, when adrenaline spikes, yes, I understand the adrenaline was bear stumps. Now, I know that was adrenaline based, seeing things and so forth. I'd glance over there and it wasn't a bear, it was a stump, a tree stump. So, yeah, I understand it for after the crack part of me going insane going down that mountain. Like, what the fuck just happened? But up until the crack, everything was very clear. Oh, let's see. Yeah, and then the stream detail, that's the biggest point where everything went, silent. And after the crack, I don't know if I could hear a stream or not. I was so focused on get down this mountain right now that I can't report to you whether I heard anything or not. I just skedaddled. My mission at that moment was skedaddle down the mountain. So let's see, the missing 411 information, phones, cameras found nearby. I was interested in this, so I had AI research. My theory of people always have their phone and so forth right beside them, and they're missing, and maybe their clothes are there, and their gear is there, and their phone is there, but they're not. Or maybe they're found and the phone was right there, or the phone was in their hands, or were they trying to take a picture, or did they take a picture? Were they trying to take a picture? And is that why they met with their fate? Because the more and more I heard that 411 guy when he does those interviews and all that I listen to on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff, and I listen to the interviews. Like there's all kinds of information that's like, that sounds familiar. And in this, was I spared going away? Whatever you want to call that. Was I spared the going away because I did not take a picture? Because it was in my nature to take a picture. I did not. Was that why I was spared? Was I spared? Have I lost my mind? It should check into a certain place. Like, oh, the Ritz. That would be a great place to check myself into for a few days. If I feel insane. Probably a lot better treatment than somewhere else. So, Missing 411 is compelling storytelling. But there's a serious critique that it cherry picks cases and implies patterns that can be explained by normal search. That's what I wanted to know. How much of this is true? How much of this is they just disappeared and nobody knows it, compared to, hey, a storm blew through. So that's what happened. I wanted to know. So search and rescue realities, terrain, exposure, time, misdirection, hypothermia, visibility, etc. A detailed skeptical review is, it's Kyle somebody. Skeptical Inquirer investigation, also Brian Dunning's Skeptoid. So they talk about the missing in parks. This wasn't a park, but it was a mountain in Breckenridge, Colorado that people skied on. And the other one was in Dillon, because there's a lot of tenderfoots. This one was in Dillon, Colorado. So, let's see, detailed review. Is it automatically paranormal? And why the pattern feels can emerge from how cases are selected and retold. So, items found next to them. That's what I wanted to know. If they find somebody, are they still moving around or not moving around anymore? And what was beside them? So, drop gear. They dropped the gear while navigating obstacles, is what they saw. Set something down briefly and then get disoriented. Fall, injury, crawl away. Experience exposure, hypothermia, and make irrational decisions. So these are all physical things that can happen. What, puppy? Come here. Come here, mommy hugs. Come here, mommy hugs. Here. I know it's snowing outside. We can't go outside. I'm sorry. Come here. Here. Mommy hugs. Oh, what a good girl. Mommy hugs. Oh, you sweetie. Did you just want some attention? You're like trying to figure out who I'm talking to? Is that what's going on? You don't know who I'm talking to? Yeah, my sweetie. Are you neglected? You poor neglected thing. Yes. What, were you wanting some goat's milk? I mean, would you let me just keep talking to these people? Like if I give you some goat's milk? Really? So you want some goat's milk? All right. I'll get you some goat's milk. She's had her pumpkin spice latte already. She's had turkey broth. Now, let's get some goat's milk. Yes, let's get some goat's milk. Well, not too much, because you already had some goat's milk in your pumpkin spice latte. So we don't want to get too crazy with that. All right. Let's get some. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, holy crap. There's your goat's milk. Yes, there's your. Oops. I turned off my heater accidentally. There we go. Okay. Yes, there's your goat's milk. I know. Good job. Oh. There we go. Okay. Maybe that'll occupy her for just a minute or two. I'm sorry it's so loud, but we have time to talk. So, in all these areas, this could be why a lot of these people are missing. Just the actual physical stuff. And looking at a broader missing persons context, non-park specific, and so forth. So I had AI look everything up to get some of an idea of what's going on. So let's see. Here's what's common in reports that match my story. I looked for that. So common in Bigfoot high-strangeness testimony is a sudden silence, that Oz factor framing over and over, a single violent crack or knock with no visible source. That happened. Dread, terror spike, and immediate retreat. That's exactly what happened. A weather shift, adding urgency. Yes. Mountains do this fast. Yes. So less common, more interpretive, is a portal. Explicitly named as the cause exists, but it's niche. So a tight high strangeness would be like the Tenderfoot story, is void of sound, the crack. I accepted my fate. And the Oz factor in this, why witnesses say not normal silence. Yeah, that was not a normal silence. It was like a void that you're right. That it just engulfed the silence. So the Bigfoot lane is like tree knocks, associated to Bigfoot, breaks as presence, intimidation, signals, database. I've got databases and examples, and I'll get to those. The portal, interdimensional Bigfoot as modern myth making, UFO kind of stuff, reality lane, acoustic shadow as a potential, refraction, mountain weather, perception under threat. Let's closing hit. Whether it was biology, physics, or something else, the outcome was the same. Something got me off of that mountain before the storm. You guys, common, so common. So I had AI look up the Dillon. So there was a straight creek road, County Road 51 area, 3 to 4 miles in point that I was talking about. That there was a trail that opens up and people push farther towards more exposed terrain and weather. You guys, I was going to go and be in a completely exposed area is where I was headed to. So the town of Dillon's own trail writes notes, a four-way junction, open area about 2.1 miles. Almost 4 miles, you're near the public shooting range. Power station area on the broader Tenderfoot system. So that's where I was headed, and I didn't get there. I didn't make it. Let's see. And in the research of the terrain and all that, I had AI research the terrain and everything and see the possibility of all of the stuff happening in these areas. And, could it be possible? And what kind of terrain is this? And if there was this type of storm come in and XYZ. And yeah, in researching that trail, that would be exactly the same area that other things happened. Other reports of sightings of Bigfoot-styled creatures were cited. So there's a history of that. Summit County Bigfoot reports that are geographically in this lane, in this area, Eagle's Nest, near Silverthorne, knocks and growls, an odd feeling. And a camera attempt. You guys, a camera attempt. What's going on, puppy? I knew you wouldn't be happy with just goat's milk. Knew it. I knew it. You my sweetie. So BFRO has a Class A report from June 2012 at Surprise Lake, Eagle Nest Wilderness, nearest town listed as Silverthorne. So the low growl on the trail, repeated knocks, a 3-knock pattern, rock against a tree, an uncomfortable, odd feeling. They tried to take pictures, but their hands were shaking. And the capture was blurry. So this directly intersects my question about the phones, cameras showing up in weird woods narratives, even in mainstream Bigfoot database. We tried to photograph it, but, all those blurry pictures, and why? Were they using a technology? Were they just using their minds? So here's another one near Dillon, Highway 9, Blue River Campground area, daylight, a white creature. You guys, Class A, BFRO, white creature near Dillon report, late 60s, early 70s time frame. You guys, this is not new. With a follow-up interview described as dirty grayish off-white hair covered figure at a beaver pond near Dillon and Highway 9. So it talks about Summit County. So the void of sound, how it's discussed in high-strangeness community. What do they talk about? And why it feels like a bubble. The portal-like zone, extremely close to what anomalous encounter literature calls the Oz factor, sudden shift, where the environment feels isolated and transported, like you're in an unreal place that matches where you were, but almost like in this really sophisticated Sims version of it, with normal sensory baseline disrupted. Silence is a core theme. So Bigfoot circles people often interpret silence as predator nearby. That's what I was talking about. They're like, oh, the animals went silent because there's a predator. But why did the stream go quiet? Why did the stream go quiet? The high strangeness circles also talk about a localized, altered reality envelope, the Oz factor. You hear that over and over, you guys, this Oz factor? A feeling like you are in a bubble that's just off from the reality that you feel like you've been in for a while. Told you it was going to be good news day, you guys. Good news day. Good news day, you guys. So, naturalistic mechanism that can mimic a sound dead zone. So let's be real. In the third dimension, let's see what, we talked about a few things that it could be that I experienced. Again, in my opinion, because I didn't feel scared or anything till the cracking sound. I don't feel like any of that was distorted, like the sound going away or anything, because it happened and then the crack. So in my world, I can't explain. I can explain away creatures and stuff. I can't explain away the subtle sounds of the forest, and not just little critters running around, but just there are subtle sounds, even without wind. And I can't explain the sound going away with the stream. So that's the part that, and the crack with nothing visible. And I could see the trees were small enough. I mean, they were big trees, but they were small enough round. I could see through them to, a ways. And there was nothing lying on the ground. There was nothing broken on the ground. No tree was broken off that I could see. And it was right behind me. If I heard it off in the distance, it would be like, well, it was off in the distance. I can't see it, but let's go home. No, it was right behind me. And there was no doubt that's the sound didn't come from anywhere but exactly behind me. See, I know the sounds can be off. You think a sound has come from the distance and the right, and it actually came from the left and then echoed off of a mountain or something. I know that happens all the time in the mountains. No, this was directly behind me, just a few feet. This wasn't coming from a distance. It was right behind me. Oh my God. So even if we're looking at it, it's a portal. Let's pretend it's a portal for high strangeness reasons. Interpretation. Are you serious? What? You are such a Cancer. Why are you being a Cancer right now? Do you just want some hugs? Come here. Come here. Let's give you mommy hugs while I'm talking about portals and Bigfoot. Let's see. So the acoustic shadow we talked about, the wind gradients and the temperature gradients possible. Again, there was a storm coming in. See, portals in Bigfoot accounts. What actually shows up in the record? What's folklore? What's just like good stories? What's testimony? Is there any science? So the knocks, cracks, and the tree pops. Very common in Bigfoot testimony in databases. So what me talking about massive crack right behind me fits the behavioral motif. The Surprise Lake report, a clean local example of knocks and discomfort, attempted photos. So interdimensional Bigfoot and portals ideas widespread in modern paranormal media, but it's usually presented as theory and anecdote, not as evidentiary standard the mainstream report databases lean on. Here is a representative explainer of the portal theory lane. Folklore, let's say, not proof. The claim type. Some experiencers interpret a loud snap or pop, sensory isolation as something opened. So the status is not scientifically established. So it's just, a testimony. So, how did my experience on Tenderfoot in Dillon, how is it different or the same? So it'll look like a normal hike with a running water baseline, sudden sound field collapse, not just a wildlife quiet. It was sound field collapse. That really sounds like what happened. A single huge crack. Yes. Instant dread. I would think terror, dread, or dread. I'm a Gen X. I don't understand all my feelings. Is dread and terror the same? If it is, yes. Leave immediately. Yes, I got that. I got that message. Storm hits right as you reach the car. Yeah, I thought that was like that. The first raindrop. There were no raindrops on my windshield when I got to the car, and one big raindrop went boom right on my windshield. Close the door, turn the car on, boom, there it was. So the closest match are again the one over by Surprise Lake And we've got it's a puppy. The reality feels muted or isolated. The Oz factor again, and the acoustic shadow, potential acoustic shadow. So here we've got 5 Summit County entries that I had AI summarize for me into a different scheme. You know, what are the categories? What are the same? Trigger, a silence, an odor. I don't remember an odor. If there was, I don't remember. A knock, a growl, visual. So trigger, a distance, terrain, like lake, creek, aspen, pine. All these are similarities. Sound events, a knock pattern, a single crack. A reaction, which is a freeze or a retreat or try to film. These are similarities. So we've got Tenderfoot, Dillon encounter the core beats. Tenderfoot Mountain, Trailhead, Oro Grande Trail System near Dillon. 3 to 4 miles in, following a stream uphill, void of sound. Animals went quiet. Stream sound drops out. Micro noises drop out. Feels like a bubble zone. So a massive crack, like a wood breaking or a thunder like pop. Instant psychological response. Dread. I'm unalive. Visual check. Nothing there. Trees are too skinny to hide a big body. Something that size couldn't hide behind a tree. A human was bigger than the trees. You would have seen a human standing there. Or if there was like even a coyote as big as they are, couldn't hide behind one of those trees. Much less a mountain lion or a bear. Weather shifted. Event number 3, the weather shifted, black clouds. Behavior change. I bailed immediately. Timing. First drop of rain hits as you reach the car. So it's a timing factor involved. I took the meaning as it felt like something scared me off the mountain to keep me alive. That's how I took it. So I was at Breckenridge at about 11,000 feet. A funnel forms. Here's that other event I told you guys about. The funnel forms. Let me see if I can. Oops. Here we go. Okay. So in Breckenridge, the funnel event forms 11,000 feet. So it drops about 500 feet. Around me, I was in the middle of the funnel. It wasn't a full-blown tornado because it hadn't gone down to sea level. Because it formed about, 500 to 1,000 feet above me and came down. So it was the beginning of a tornado. But it still picked everything up and threw it around. Thank goodness it wasn't bigger than that. There was the sound of a freight train. Took at least 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And then it just went away. Like it went right back up in the clouds or something. It went back away. I was in the dead center of it. You guys, it went around me, picked up all this stuff, this debris that would have hurt me really bad if I had been in its path. But I was in the center and I felt no wind in the center. It was odd. It's so weird. Because these are portals. Tornadoes are portals. So the Bigfoot trip. Visible landscape, no other people, humid, tropical feeling. Smudges all over the ground, deer prints, but no other animals. I didn't see any toes. So I made the comment, well, there's big, multiple sizes, footprints, what appears to be footprints of something all over the whole 6 miles of terrain. And that stuff gets washed away by rain every day. So these footprints have to be remade in the pine needles every day. The rain comes down, it washes the footprints away because it's not in mud. It's in pine needles. So all of those were made in the day before. Is what didn't accumulate over time. So, but I made the comment, there's no toes in any of these, smudges all over the place. And I was trying to figure out how these could be made. Like a deer got some planks of wood caught on its hooves and it ran through and smudged footprints all over the place. Like I was trying to make it work in my head. Crazy ideas that it couldn't be Sasquatch. So in an area where I had my tripod in my backpack, that we looked. You know, I was looking for footprints to take pictures and all of that, and it's just like there's no toes. So we go into another area and then we come back. And there's probably 18 inches from heel to toe. Huge footprint with toes. And I'm sorry I don't remember if it was 5 or 6 toes, you guys. I took the picture. Colorado Bigfoot kept trying to poke at it and messed it up. And I was about to lose my mind because I'm like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. He's like, well, look here. And we're here. Look. And he's like messing up the footprint. Oh, I almost went insane in that moment. You could tell by the video I was not happy when he did that. But I freaked out. I freaked out for at least 3 days to a week that I was not okay because I couldn't deny it anymore. Even though I didn't see Sasquatch till later, you know, looking at all the video, you could see him in the background, the Sasquatch in the background, but I couldn't see him while I was there. So when I saw that footprint with the toes, it's like Sasquatch heard me and went over there and made a freaking footprint, like from another dimension. So when I went back over there to my tripod and in my backpack, that I found the footprint because I had just looked. So it's not like, hey, the footprint was there before I got there, so another person could have come through and done that. You know, I probably would have thought that, but that it was not there. And I went over just for just a few short minutes and came right back to an area that was in full view while I was stepped away. It's not like that area was out of my sight. I could see the whole time. I didn't see anything over there, and I went over there and there's a footprint. So there was no person that came through that was like stalking us or whatever. Like nothing like that. So that's why I was like, oh, it is real. What, puppy? What? Do you feel like neglected? Am I not giving you the attention you want? What's going on, you poor thing? You poor thing. All I do is just cater to you all day long. Oh, what are you looking at now? I've given you everything. You've had pumpkin spice latte. You've had turkey broth. And you've had your goat's milk. You've had all of that. Oh, pumpkin seeds. Oh, hold on. I will buy some time with pumpkin seeds. Hold on a second. Okay, let's get you some pumpkin seeds. Yes, let's give you some pumpkin seeds. Where did I put them? Look, I got the pumpkin seeds where I would know where they were, and I can't find them. Oh my God, are you kidding? I swear I just saw the pumpkin seeds. Where did I see them? Where did I put? Oh, they're over here. I got everything organized and arranged, and now I forgot where I put everything. Here's your pumpkin seeds. Here's your pumpkin seed. Get back. Get back. There, and Ken said only a quarter of a cup. So that's all you get. If you have any complaints, you have to talk to Ken. He looked it up on Google. So, yeah, Ken, if there's any complaints, I'll let you know about the quarter cup. Poor thing's just like, oh, I only got a pumpkin spice latte today. Neglected thing. Oh my gosh. Hey, Lynn, I wonder what there is that they would protect people from us scaring them off. Yeah. Well, for me, it might have been a storm, but did they create the storm? You know, really. Wonder why they wouldn't want to be photographed. Yeah, that seems to be like a theme that I keep seeing over and over. Aside from wanting to be left alone, of course. Exactly. And my reasoning, Lynn, true or not, this is because I thought that through. Oh, did I get into their territory and they wanted me to just leave their territory? It was on a heavily walked trail that people walk this trail all the time. So there's an assumption that people will always be going through this area. That to me was not like, oh, I went off trail, about a mile or two and I got into their territory. And then they were like, where did this human come from? Oh my God, it's Kelly. Oh, geez, look, she's got like just stretchy pants on. Yeah, she didn't even wear any shin guards or anything coming up here. Seriously, like leggings and kids. Here she comes, traipsing up here. So I've heard stories, says the Carrie. I've heard stories of people getting scared out of a place for their safety. Oh, okay. And they interpreted it as for their safety. Yeah, I get that. I get it. Pumpkin seeds too, Mom, says the kid. With honey. Oh, well, it's gone. She ate them all and she can't have any more because she had a quarter cup. Ken said you could only have a quarter cup, so sorry about the honey. Oh no, she gave me the face when I said the H word. Do you want some honey? Oh, she's got a crazy look on her face, you guys. Let me give her some honey. Oh, you do want some honey. Oh, you got a little crazy here. A little crazy. I'm sorry you can't have any more. There we go. All right. Perfect. That's about the right amount, roughly. Give or take. Give or take a teaspoon. I don't know. I just eyeballed it. I don't know how much I gave her, but it's about what I give her all the time. Sorry, it's so noisy. If it was on the pumpkin seeds, it wouldn't be as noisy, but I put it like directly on the bowl on the bottom. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Carrie. Oh, even if you tried to take a picture, sometimes the phone or camera won't work. Yes. And then you have all those blurry pictures. And again, I didn't see them while I was there, but in the pictures and the videos, you can see there were at least there was one that was like a baby, I don't know what they're called, you guys, a baby Sasquatch. And you could tell because I was panning across. I didn't see it when I was standing beside it. But when I looked back, you can tell that it's a small, it looks almost like a bear. But you can tell it's a little different shaped than a bear, like a baby bear. It's not quite baby bear shaped. It has a little more, I don't know, shoulders. It had shoulders. The bear doesn't have that kind of shoulders. Its shoulders kind of droop down like Winnie the Pooh. Not this thing. Anyway, it's still a baby, but you could tell when you panned across and saw it with movement, you could see the shape of it. But then I tried to do a screenshot, and the screenshots were all pixelated. Again, with movement, you could see it, but screenshotting, you couldn't. So I didn't put that picture out because the best I could do is a black dot for that one. Sorry about it. Sorry about that. So that's what happened with that one. But I did the adults. You could see the adults quite easily in the pictures. Oops. What did I do? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm in the wrong place. There we go. So these are the pictures I do have. All the other ones were AI. I hope you knew they were AI. I wasn't trying to trick you into thinking they weren't AI. So this one is from the video in the woods of one of the Sasquatch that were watching us. And there were other, where are you? Where my Sasquatches go? Crap. Oh, here it is. That. So there are some of the other ones. And on Instagram and Facebook, there's a picture of the footprint on one of those. And I'm going to look for the footprint picture, you guys, because I can't remember where I put it. I think it's on my phone. It might be on one of my older phones. The footprint picture on like the third phone that I have. That's my, what is that? Galaxy Note, or was it I don't remember. But I'll look. And if you all right? Can you hear it over here? Clickety click. So yeah. We got lots of pictures and stuff of Sasquatch when we were out there. And I didn't realize. I did not realize. Okay, there we go. Look at the comments. Oh, give her a squirt of the new honey. I did. She loves that new honey. I love the new honey. I mean, all of it tastes good, but the new honey is just spectacular. I can't put my finger on how it tastes different or how to describe the taste. It's like the other honey. I can taste the flowers almost. Because like I can taste that with the other one, and I don't know how to put this one to words. Oh no, it's lots for an adult. Oh, I gave her a quarter cup, kid. Whoopsie. Oh no, whoopsie. I wonder if that's where that they would protect people from scaring them off. Yeah, and people interpret it as, oh, go away out of my territory. And what if it was like, hey, there's a storm and you're not going to be here tomorrow? Get off the mountain, get into your car. You know, I don't know. Yes, yes, for sure. Bigfoot may be able to cloak like a chameleon. That's that fourth dimensional stuff I was talking about, Ken. Like the fourth dimensional cloaking or hiding or wrapping itself in the fourth dimension. It's a weird way to word it, but yeah, wrapping yourself in the fourth dimension. They have followed. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments backwards. If I get into a backward story, they have followed the Yeti footprints in the snow, and then they disappear right in the open. Oh my gosh, that's the portal, kind of the portal theory going on. Ken, is that what you're inferring? Yeah, pumpkin spice latte. You wrote that before I did it. Continue. Oh, there we go. I'm new to this channel. Hey, Roga. Rogue, is your name French? Rogue, Morris. I mispronounce everybody's name, so if I don't mispronounce yours, then that would be weird. I'm new to this channel. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh my gosh, good afternoon. Like, I don't know if you've come to this channel and you're going to get what you wanted to out of this channel. But welcome. Welcome and good luck in here. Welcome and good luck. Let me get to the other pictures. I like these. So when we're looking at all of these occurrences and the vortices, like a vortex where you find yourself in a reality bubble that's very similar to this planet, but for a period of time, if you want to think about it as being studied. Ooh. So let's see, location, the grounds of knocking. Oh, it's just over and over and over stuff that other people are saying. Warning, get out. Territorial intimidation, presence signal, communication, a behavior change, forced retreat. See, these are over and over and over, you guys. Every time I mention this, it's AI has looked something up. Commonly claimed motifs, sudden silence, weird weather, again, more. Missing persons, odd recoveries, gear found, separated, phone, camera, clothes, time gaps, disorientation. So popular conspiracy claim, is it that? What are the true statistics on there was something weird about this encounter that's different than the other ones? Photos and cameras found nearby, lots of other examples. So if we're looking at physics, we could again have an acoustic shadow where the sounds can't be heard, topography, wind, things like that. That's always a possibility. So that is a real issue or phenomenon with the terrain and the wind and bending sound and stuff. Again, there was no wind at the time. So although that is possible that could happen, and I've been in situations like that, so I understand. But that's not at all with no wind. What happened? And even wind couldn't take the stream sound away. There's no way. No way. That doesn't and then the crack. Yeah, that doesn't explain the crack then. But it shows the sound void isn't automatically imagery. So the portal, some people interpret it as bubble silence and a snap, pop, pattern layers, high strangeness, Oz factor. Again, more accounts and more accounts. Okay, and again, I'm sorry, you guys, I just have so much information right here to go through that are common in similarities to my experience. And let's see. So Tenderfoot, weather shifts, boulder fields. Oh, I didn't see this direction, you guys. There's a hinting at there's something about boulder fields or fields with boulders or for some reason a boulder. Do you know anything about that? Also, what people have found different from my experience were berries, swamps, briar patches, disability with children, separation, canines tracking weirdness, a clothing removal, Let's see, comparing motifs. And information we talked about before. We've got those in the Smokies, 1969. Vanished during play. Major storm, huge search. Idaho, 2015. Campground vanish. Conflicting accounts, no trace. Yosemite, 1981. Steps away with camera, disappears. Phone and cameras found. Gear separation. Documentation attempts. Hey, stop. Oh my gosh. You guys, she's acting like I just completely mistreat her. You just get no attention. Don't you? You just get no attention from mom. Oh my gosh, you're so spoiled. Completely spoiled rotten. She's spoiled rotten. That's why she's doing that. She's completely spoiled rotten. So let's see. 2013, after stepping off a trail, later found journals, text, attempts, close proximity, panic, circling, visibility deceptions. How could they be so close? Why bodies were weirdly found? Hypothermia, but possibility. But clothing removal, terminal burrowing. What is that? You guys, I don't know what that means. Terminal burrowing. Forensic literature supports this as a real end-stage pattern. Oh, sorry, that was gross. Okay, why search dogs can fail. Weather, contamination, time lag, terrain. Including why did they disappear or can we just not find them? These are possible physical reasons. Known constraints, not paranormal proof. Let's see, Colorado Bigfoot, footprint with toes, response moment. What was that? Oh, sorry, that was her harness. Let's see, your Breckenridge funnel, and yeah, I don't know what that was, but it got me off the mountain. So water is adjacent. That concept is very common. That they've got water right there. Disappearances near streams, lakes, swamps. You guys, that's so weird. And that's where the vortex was. Is near water. Again, it was all very similar to this. Not exact, but very similar. Whoa. Are Yetis just different colored Bigfoots? That's what I understand, Lynn. That's my understanding of it. That live in the snow. It's kind of like humans. You got, tall ones, short ones, lots of color varieties and so forth. And, hair straight, hair curly, lots of different types of human shaped. So, and also, to me, the ones or in Pennsylvania and so forth, like these guys down here, they were about 4 feet tall, not real big, just 4 feet tall, and they just sit there and they just observing, watching. They don't hurt anybody. They're just doing their thing, and they're just watching. So, hey, Morris. When I had my experience, I saw a light move from one side of my property to the other side. Holy crap. It covered 15 acres quickly. Then I started to hear Bigfoot sounds. And that's what other people have reported, I've heard. Morris, 7655. Sorry, I have dyslexia. Morris. That's, whoa. Anybody else have encounters like that? Like balls of light and so forth? Spheres? Are these plasma spheres? Well, I don't know. Could it be a plasma sphere? Anyone? A plasma sphere? So it does look like when I had AI look up all the statistics and everything that we have water that's close with a lot of these encounters. A stream, lake, river, something. Swamp. Whoa, I'm freaking out. The hairs on my arms are sticking up right now, you guys. I'm freaking out that this is common with other people's experiences. Oh, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Boulder fields, rough terrain. Oh my gosh, I bet they moved that's probably what it is. They moved the boulders to kind of block people. What do you guys bet? That's kind of a little bit of it. Paul, someone highlights Boulder Fields as a recurring environment. And that's exactly that place with there it is. The boulder where I was in this area with the vortex and everything, and you entered it and you went past a boulder. So I went up there and there's no boulder, nothing. Nothing. Okay, so we got Boulder Fields, ground angle. Boulder Fields shred scent. Huh, I didn't think about that. Create injury risk and produce confusing lines of travel. I'm freaking out. Okay, separation. Children step away. Adults separate briefly. Bathroom, photo, shortcut. This is the single most lethal micro event in wilderness narratives. You guys, pay attention. If you go hiking, canines and dogs fail. Dog behavior. Dogs fail for boring reasons. Scent, pool contamination, wind shear, rain, time delay, handler constraints. It's not automatically paranormal. Clothing removal, missing shoes. Like missing 411 lore. Do we call it lore? Yeah, what percentages? I want to know what percentages when they go missing is actual paranormal or considered paranormal. Critical grounding, paradoxical undressing, terminal burrowing are documented in forensic medical literature and can make deaths look impossible. In impossible places. A dense brush. Grid missed a pocket. Like these are practical things. Like, we did the grid system, but Fred didn't show up. It was in Fred's territory. Body movement by water or train or searching timing. They were there, then they were there later. Like they were not there. I'm sorry, they were not there. And then we went back and looked again, and there they were. You hear that a lot, you guys. I hear that a lot. Full sound field collapse. Yes. So here in the 1969 Great Smoky Mountains, vanished fast, storm, Dennis Martin. 6 years old, camping with family in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. He disappeared during a brief moment while playing near others. The search that followed became one of the most expensive in the park's history, reportedly involving around 1,400 searchers across a large area. A key complication, a heavy downpour hit shortly after he vanished. You guys, there's that storm element again. With significant rain in a matter of hours, the kind of weather that can wipe tracks, flood creeks, and distort scent conditions. Over time, the case accumulated myth gravity, including reports of a possible sighting of a shaggy man carrying something red. But investigators later concluded it wasn't enough evidence to link in. It's a cornerstone case because it combines a fast disappearance, severe weather, huge search resources, and no resolution. Another one, the 1981 Yosemite. Stacy was 14 and on a horseback trip in Yosemite. She stepped away carrying her camera, intending to photograph the lake. She invited her father, but he declined. An older person in the group initially went with her downhill towards the lake while the rest watched from above. At some point, she was no longer visible and she was never found. So this is where the camera beside them question becomes important. The Dior Coons Jr., 2015, Idaho campground vanish. 2 years old. Timber Creek campground, sounds like it's on water, in Idaho. They have creeks in Idaho? While camping with family members and a family friend, despite years of investigation, heavy public attention, the child has never been found. And reporting notes that accounts of events have been conflicting. High signal case for the theme, people vanish when they're not deep in the backcountry. Puppy. It also supports a broader point. Once you're outside controlled environments, minutes later, and the story quickly becomes a fog of human error, memory conflict, and train reality. You guys, yeah, I stepped off trail in this area. I was off trail when all this stuff happened. There's story after story, you guys, with the same pattern, the same patterns. The knock, the intimidation, the warning, the physics, coincidence, a tree break, rock shift, something intervened, high strangeness, national park missing persons, credibility anchors. So we've got a long list of those. Tenderfoot territory, the motifs, the Oz factor, Colorado Bigfoot, the weather. So survival rates and how often does it happen? Percentages, who survives, who doesn't. The sound void, the single crack. What percentage do you hear that? So here's percentages I had AI look up. The ones that are found alive in these missing person cases, 84%. Hey, that's a good job. Yay. Go forest ranger people and volunteer people. So 84% alive, 11% not. 3 just missing. 3% always missing. Multiple results, I don't know what that means. And then 0.4% not reported. How do they know? So solo versus in a group. If they go solo, these are lost males in a group. We've got, okay, we're off. And this is kind of a quiet divorce as I abandon you in the woods. Well, men, under these circumstances, 97% live, 2% don't, and 0.8% missing. By themselves, and not a group, 78% alive, 16% not, and 6% missing. Interesting. Solo. Female. In groups, female 98% alive, 1% not. Oh, pretty better statistics than the guys, and 0.5 missing. Solo by themselves, 84% survive. They're alive. All by themselves, females. Interesting. More than the males. Like several points. Wow. Oh, only 11% didn't make it and 4% missing. Hey, ladies, you're going to make it better in the woods. I mean, I wouldn't advise doing that, but do what you want. Not my business, but you're going to be fine. You'll be all right. So 2014 through 2019, 358 unalivements a year, parks reporting. 2019, 0.11 unalivements per 100,000 recreational visits. There's some stats. A takeaway. When things go wrong, they go wrong fast. That's what I've noticed in the mountains. Things don't just happen. You see it coming for long distances like Texas. You can see the weather coming from 100 miles away in the sky. In the mountains, you might have, like, how tall is that mountain over there? Well, once the cloud goes over that mountain and you see it, do you have 20 minutes? Do you have 30 minutes? So visibility of the sky is a factor here. Let's see, we got hypothermia, paradoxical undressing, and occurs in probably 25% of hypothermia deaths. So, known hypothermia physiology, it could just be, it just happened. But why we take our clothes off in the middle of the forest if we're cold? I don't know. I do silly things sometimes. But if I'm in the middle of the forest and I'm cold, I don't think I'm going to take my clothes off. I mean, just saying, it's not like a decency thing. It just doesn't seem the thing to do in the middle of the forest. Sudden silence, single explosive crack, Oz factor, dread wave. Over and over, you guys. And quiet but not silence, dusk and unalive quiet. Saw nothing, heard nothing. It got unalively quiet. Area became unalive quiet. Still unalive quiet. Unalive quiet. No birds, no crickets. The forest all went silent. Then everything went silent. These are quotes all over the place. Unalive quiet. I'm sorry about the unalive word, you guys. I can't breathe it. No wind, no birds. Silent again. No sounds of any birds. Over and over about the birds. Interesting. The big crack. I heard a big branch snap. Then everything went silent. Large branch snap. Unalive quiet. Loud pop prior to the silence. A branches breaking with loud pops. Absolutely quiet again, except for a ground branch snap. That's what it sounded like. It was on the ground and it was being broken. That's what it sounded like. A branch snap behind his camp. Large unalive tree came crashing down. Woods were unalive quiet. Huge thing moving through the woods. Twigs and branches snap. It got unalive quiet. After the witness heard the branch snap, commotion began. Heard a loud branch snap across the river. Heard a large branch snap behind the tent. Would take a large animal to make that sound. That's another person said it. That's similar to what I said. Oh my God. Heard a branch snap no more than 40 feet away. Saw nothing. Wood knocks, crack like. And because I had AI look up everything. Find as many accounts that you can. I saw a clear vortex rising where the stream forked into a huge pine. I felt the urge to take a photo and strong internal don't. This is me. This is me. When I stepped out of the pocket, it was suddenly near dark, like time moved differently. You guys, what do you think? I think I think this might be a repeat. I'm just looking to make sure if this a repeat of information or is this new testimony? Nope. I think we got it. We got through all of it, you guys. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? That's like, oh, we talked for 3 hours. Oh, good grief. It's about lunchtime. Holy crap. What is for lunch? It's snowing outside. What should I make for lunch? Here's Shelby. Hi, Shelby. I'm an amateur astronomer. Well, that's cool. Oops. There we go. And love black holes and wormholes. So portals pique my curiosity. Oh, I know, right? I think they explain a lot of weirdness. Yes. And I see the basis of the creation of this reality as portals and turtle fields. It make everything, in this plasma field and everything from the God bubble, on through the plasma field. I see turtle fields and, plasma fields with all of this in there. And like the turtle fields, you got the portal in the middle. It's like a disc shaped plasma field. And you got the pure white light consciousness bubbles that come out of it. So those consciousness bubbles are a repeat of the God bubble and the plasma that is a potential field to be anything and everything in all of creation. Isn't that freaking cool? Holy crap. And Shelby, you're into this stuff. Oh, we can be friends. We can be friends. Yes, it explains a lot in my world. That's for freaking sure. Oh, hey, Morris. I wonder, do people who have had an experience have a connection that is more than a sighting or experience? Oh, a question. Hey, Morris, here's a question. How many of you guys were in the GATE program and you had these experiences? Oh, how many of you guys are neurodivergent, neurospicy, and have had this experience? How many of you guys would you label, if you were to label, if that was a thing, psychic, and had these experiences? I did not ask AI these questions. Hey. I'm sorry, Morris. What were you saying? Actually, I said more than sighting or experience. I know I didn't ask for it, but it happened when I was 54, when I had my experience. Oh. I see it. Oh, Lynn. Why would they take a child? I don't know, Lynn. I mean, there are some questions I cannot answer. Is that what's happening, or is it a vortex thing? Oh, and then, Lynn, what perspective are we looking at this? Do we come from a place of fear? Do we come from a place of being healed looking at it? Do we come from a place of, I'm God? I created the plasma field, which is a potential field. So well, how do you exist when you're nothing? But I was before the plasma field of potential that hasn't even been activated yet. Are we looking at it from that perspective? So perspective, Lynn, I find changes a whole lot of stuff when I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, it's like, why would my mom choose this type of a experience in life? This doesn't make sense to me, and I'm upset about it. I don't like it. Ugh, those are her lessons, Lynn. And go make a snowman. Not enough. This actually, it's snowing, but it's not cold enough for it to stay as snow on the ground right now. So it's kind of warmed up a little bit and snow's on the ground. So do you guys feel like I've gone through this thoroughly of like my experience and how it matched with other people? And in my world, I haven't come to a conclusion. You know, what is that when you're trying to figure out something in a video game that doesn't even exist? But I feel better that I really think this was, in my opinion, whether true or not, I'm gonna sit on this for right now. This is gonna be my made up reality right now. Is yes, it was a portal. Yes, it was Bigfoot. And yes, Bigfoot was helping me in a bad situation. Whether it's true or not, that's my version of it right now, to kind of have a resting or a settled place with this at the moment. Because that, it was like, what was that crack? And I never really thought it through or whatever. Again, AI being a new tool for me and very new to AI. I've put AI to work, reprogrammed AI. I've done everything. And I'm like, build a company for me. So AI is building a company for me. I'm actually making the cookbook right now and an app. I'm writing an app as well, and AI is helping me with all that. So, and then forming these companies and structuring the companies and so forth, and walking me through a lot of steps. So, and I'm doing cool pictures like this. I mean, that's one of the coolest parts, is making all these pictures. But it is helping me to form companies and run them and move forward and get products and digital products created. You guys, I already have about probably 45 digital products created, and I'm going to get to the 100 digital products created, and then I'm going to go public with it. And it's going to be very affordable, these digital products. And my first cookbook is going to be food prep and storage, specifically for the freezer. And if you get it, whether you freeze anything or not, with all these recipes, these are amazing recipes to just make, whether you freeze it or not. But every recipe was designed to be frozen and to maintain its integrity through the process. So you have freshly baked lasagna. Like you put the lasagna together and with all of its raw ingredients, and then you freeze it in serving sizes. And then later, an hour later, in your toaster oven, you got freshly baked lasagna or whatever makes you happy, stuffed shells. I've got a chicken divan. I'm sorry, I've got chicken Kiev, chicken cordon bleu. That where I teach you how to do like 5-star chef stuff, you guys, and then freeze it, and for it to come out without freezer burn. I mean, you can't leave it in there like 10 years and not expect it to taste weird. But you guys have designed this to be a system for this stuff not to be in your freezer for longer than maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks tops. Because in my experimenting, going to the International Science Fair and looking at the effect of storage, freezer storage, on vitamin B12, which translates into all the other vitamins and so forth, that there's a huge decline in the nutritional absorption of B12 after something has been frozen longer than 3 weeks, it starts to decline. And at 4 weeks, you still have a good amount in there, but by 6 weeks, it's just calories. It's like eating cardboard with calories. So my system of freezing and food prep and all is not to put something in your freezer for 6 months, but to have a system of rotation where nothing lasts longer than a month in your system. If it lasts longer than a month, then maybe they don't want that dish. So I try with the information that I get from my experimenting that I've done on vitamins and so forth, and storage and heat on things and how they're cooked, and usable vitamin B12, not just B12, because raw has all the B12, but is it in a form where your body can easily intake it? As if you just slightly heat it a little bit, then suddenly your body can take in more vitamin B12 than if it's just raw. That's why, in my opinion, in my research, the Asian culture of this stir fry, I think, what is stir fry? You've got, like, slightly exaggerating, but like 12,000 degrees. Your wok is 12,000 degrees. And it like takes seconds to basically caramelize the outside of your vegetables, and the inside is just warmed up. So it's just past raw, but not cooked. And then you get the flavor on the outside that's like caramelized. To me, that completely makes sense. Oh, I'm sorry. I talked about food, and then I went off on a food tangent, and you can tell where my passion is. So that cookbook's coming out. I've got some amazing recipes. A lot of them are like steakhouse recipes. So just that good stuff. You're not going to be eating like this all the time. It's going to be in the freezer from when you want it, like scalloped potatoes or something, or gratin potatoes. Like, holy crap, who wouldn't go for that? And, sauteed mushrooms, like steakhouse mushrooms. Who wouldn't go for that too? Corn casserole. So I've got stuff in there that you might label bad. And I've got good stuff too. I've got cream spinach. And everything is freezer proof. I've got, curried soup, curried spices. I've got several, like fermented stuff, pickled stuff. I've got the spice blends. We've got all that going on. You guys, we've got dressings. We've got sauces. Ketchup, mustard, barbecue sauce, teriyaki, all the recipes, you guys, to make all this stuff from scratch. Clickbait for cooking. I love it. After 3 hours of talking about Sasquatch, in the last few minutes, I talk about cooking, and a bot comes on here. Let me go. If someone is putting clickbait on there, let me ban them. I don't want someone like that on my channel. There we go. Yeah, the Bigfoot topic might have brought them over here, but they're like 3 hours late. Anyway, they can't find my channel now. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, the mystery. It's interesting to me too, the mystery, because I had so many experiences in the woods, and I'm still here. That's what baffles me. My experience was a lot like other people, and why did people go missing, and why did some stay? And I just wonder, is it because I did not take a picture? Is that why I'm still here? Is I didn't take a picture? And why I'm still here, I wasn't caught in that storm. Bigfoot's, made me leave an area that is heavily walked every day by hikers. So again, it's not like I went into their territory and they were trying to scare me away. There was a reason they wanted me back down off that mountain. And again, did they produce the storm to scare me away? Or was a storm coming and they saved me from the storm? I guess those are my questions. But whatever happened, I think, again, I remote view so well, but I can't remote view anything from myself. I can't see it at all, you guys, to remote view. Oh, so what I'm holding in my head is Bigfoot coming to help me, coming through a portal that went pop. The portal that went pop. Wouldn't that be a good, sorry to the hiccups, you guys. Wouldn't that be a good children's book? The portal that went pop. Would you read that to your children? Oh, let's read the story to go to bed. The portal that went pop. Oh, no, Mom, I can sleep. I had nightmares the last time you read that one, Mom. No, not after the sun goes down. Not the portal went pop. No, not again. So that was really interesting topic. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I thought it would be. I did a lot of research. I hope I did enough research that you guys are like, hey, I'm interested in this, or hey, I had an experience, and one of those things you talked about, Kelly, was real familiar. So anyway, the last thing I want you guys to do is be afraid or have any fear when approaching this topic. If you feel like you're afraid or fearful, when I talk about cream spinach casserole, and you're like, oh, my cholesterol, any fear in the topics we talk about, just don't listen. Just you're not ready. It's okay. Just don't listen. We might not be in a good place. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, the portal that goes pop. That would be a good introduction to concepts, like concepts of other dimension, quantum physics concepts. Wouldn't that be good to introduce quantum physics? And you don't put the quantum physics words in there, except for maybe a word like portal or something real simple. But you show all the shapes. You show the shape of the toroidal field, and you may or may not use the word toroidal field. But you introduce toddlers and all to multiple dimensions. So when they go off into nonlinear thinking, you don't freak out. It's like, oh, this is them just in that plasma field. And if we're about to be in a plasma field disk, what it means is it's a reset. But the cool thing about plasma is you have full awareness in the plasma. You know you're in plasma. And you know you have access to anything and everything. Not just, oh, Kelly having a rich experience. Oh, Kelly having a poor experience. Well, how about we let go of the idea of making Kelly? And how about in this plasma field, every character is created, whether it's a dinosaur or a dragon or a titan or a Tartarian or a human, or a puppy, a cute little puppy Australian Shepherd. It's not so puppy anymore. I have a full-blown dog, you guys. She's dog-shaped. She's dog because she's dog-shaped. I don't know how that happened. Even in all her growing, she was still puppy-shaped. She's not puppy-shaped anymore. She's dog-shaped. But some of that out of control, like impulsive behavior is gone. So being dog-shaped, we have more mature behavior, so that's good. Like, oh, she's not puppy-shaped anymore. Am I the only one that ever experienced that with their pets? She was puppy-shaped, and now she's dog-shaped. And she feels like it, too, when I pet her. She's got that solid dog feel to her, like mature dog structure. Oh. And she's whining. I guess she's a Cancer. But she's helping me to Gen X figure out emotions. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know I had all these emotions, and now I know what to call them. Now I have words for them. So thank you, puppy. You guys, anything I can do before I let you go and I figure out what is for my lunch? If it's almost time to go to the grocery store again, I'm almost out of my words. Portobello mushrooms. Almost out of my portobello mushrooms. So, oh, hey, Lynn. Something that's funny to me is my 2-year-old insists on calling dinosaurs dragons. Oh, they know. Lynn, they know. So even though he has seen both, he refuses to acknowledge dinosaurs. I love it. Once you figure out those tiny little arms, that we make fun of, those tiny arms. Have you ever seen a chicken without its feathers? Go look at a chicken's tiny little arms. And then go look at the T-Rex's tiny little arms. And that's all I'm going to say. And then you figure out the rest yourself. None of my business. If the T-Rex is just a chicken with scales. I mean, cool wings. Cool wings and everything. But, I can't take a T-Rex seriously anymore. Being a chicken with scales. The chicken wings with scales. Like, seriously, can it even fly? Did it even fly? Or like, hey, look at my wings. Oh, my pretty wings. Look at my wings. And then it becomes a mountain. Once you skip a few, now the dragon is a mountain. Yeah, that's what we think of your wings. Hey, if all of these are dragons, these mountain ranges and everything, then what is the mountainscape or the terrain around these mountains? Okay, my question, where did the wings go? Yes, a dinosaur with feathers. That's what chickens are. So you're eating a freaking dragon that doesn't breathe fire. Puppy. That's what you're eating. Is a dragon with feathers. Quetzalcoatl for dinner. Oh, I love chicken fried quetzalcoatl. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, is that good with some pepper sauce? You can tell. I'm gonna have that pepper sauce, which is pepper vinegar. It's like peppers and vinegar, and you just put it in a bottle, and as you use the vinegar, you just keep refilling the vinegar. But that would be so good on like dragon wings. Spicy dragon wings. It's like you might be regretting it the next morning, but I bet they're tasty. It would be better if T-Rex had a beak. It's like chickens don't have teeth. What is T-Rex? Okay, is T-Rex really? Look at Quetzalcoatl. I'm just saying these creatures all have bird heads on them. It doesn't bird head have teeth. I'm just saying, could they be misleading us by drawing these T-Rexes? Because dragons do have teeth. Never mind. Chickens do not have teeth. Dragons have teeth. So beak and teeth. Which would you rather be? Beak and teeth. Either way, if they eat you, it's just like if you have a beak, hopefully they'll swallow you whole. Or maybe not hopefully, because then it would be like you survive for. Ooh, I hope that never happens to me. Like a big giant chicken is like, oh, what? This looks like a tasty morsel. I bet she's a vegetarian. As someone gets like one of those like full blown like whole chickens from like Costco and feeds it to the other chickens. That disturbed me. I was not okay after I saw that. I'm like, why did you have to put that on TikTok? There was no reason to do this on TikTok. See, puppy's even distressed about it. They did. They ate their friend. They didn't care. They didn't even think twice about it. So yeah. If there was a big flying chicken, you and I would be toast. You'd probably get away. You'd be like this blur. That's like, what was that? That looked like a nice, tasty morsel, but it ran away. And Kelly's all like, oh, I don't have the proper shoes on. So that's probably what would happen if suddenly there was a dragon. I think I'm just going to stay inside. And, or one thing, just don't go to Breckenridge, because Breckenridge has pterodactyls. Like, fuck that shit. Yeah, fuck that shit. Oh, I showed you guys those pictures. I forgot where I put them, so I can't show them right now. But all right, you guys, are going to let you go. I'm going to go figure out lunch. And I guess, see you guys on the next video. If you've got any suggestions on shows, because this one was all about Bigfoot, my experiences with Bigfoot, and how it compares or contrasts to other people's experiences out there, take it or leave it. Don't believe anything I say. Go do your own research. Go out in the middle of the woods. Go talk to Sasquatch. None of my business. And you figure this stuff out yourself. But for lack of a place to start, I told you about my experience, several experiences with a vortex and stuff in the mountains and the beginning of tornadoes and another vortex. And the vortex by the tree where the water forks. So in all these experiences where there's a portal and they found themselves next to water, was there a unique feature in the water that created a tornado field and this sphere of experience? The sphere of experience. And the portal that popped. The portal that went pop. We could so turn that into okay, where's my pen? Where did I put my pen? Seriously, I had one and found it. Okay. I've got my Post-it notes right here. Okay. the portal that went pop. Oh, you guys, a children's book. What do you bet I can get pictures like with AI and stuff for it and actually be able to make a book? I have the tools to actually make a children's book now and illustrate it. Sometimes it doesn't illustrate it like I like, but I'll work with it. It's possible. It is possible I can do a children's book now. If you think it would be a cute plot line. The portal that went pop. And then don't make it scary or anything. Make it exciting and like intrigue. And put pictures on there that a lot of kids might recognize because their mind's eye is all over the damn place and other dimensions and everything. But they get into school and all. And suddenly it's like no other dimensions but the third. Sit still in your chair and behave or you go to the principal's office. So I think the portal that went pop, I think a lot of children, young children, are going to be able to relate to it because it's going to be mostly about the pictures and then very few words. But what it'll do, it'll show a picture to a child and associate a word, whether it's a cool word or not, whether it's a correct word or not, and whether there's other words for it in other cultures, doesn't matter. It will give that child a vocabulary so when they see it, they'll be able to tell you, oh, Mom, I saw a toroidal field. It looked like a donut. Like because they saw the children's book, put a vocabulary to it. Now they can talk to you instead of, Mom, there was a floating donut. And then you just think it's a floating donut. And they're like, oh, it's a toroidal field and it was moving in a tornado pattern and all. Because they learned these simple words to communicate with Mom and Dad. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing? Again, it's just educating them on vocabulary that when it happens, they can communicate with you. And then you having an understanding and an openness to allow that space to be in those dimensions. And then here's the cool thing is they get used to it and they don't use these other dimensions to dissociate. I'm not a counselor, by the way. I learned a fancy word on Google, dissociate. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Oh, hey, bye, Kelly. And yes, definitely, it would be such a fun idea for kids' book. Oh, thank you. That's one of my projects behind the cookbook. They'll do like the kids' book and so forth. It looks like the app is going to take a little while. It takes a lot of memory to make this app. So it's progressive, but the cookbook's going to come out first. Hey, Lynn. Big chance I'll end up in the woods, Lynn. God, we plan on checking out Colorado to move to in the next couple of years. Be careful. Look up all the 411 whatevers. Look up all that stuff in places. And then, not that I tell you where to go, Lynn. It's like, I'm going to ask Kelly where I should go. It's like, I'll Gen X tell you where to go. No, not you, Lynn. Not you. At the very least, I can give you my opinion on areas. Not to sway you into one or another, but sometimes if you live in Colorado, you hear reputations all the time about a certain area. So if it's like, oh, we were thinking about going to this area, it's like, well, do what you want, but here's the reputation of that area. And if it's like, oh, okay, I see the reputation, Kelly, but since I'm going to be in these circles over here, that's not going to bother me. Oh, okay. But it's like, oh, I didn't think about that, Kelly, because if, the reputation and all of this and that and the other happens, this area could possibly be a 15-minute city overnight. That kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, that kind of stuff. All right, you guys. So, Lynn, stay out of the woods. Or if you go, hey, Lynn, if you go in the woods, come with me. And we won't separate. So if it at some point it goes, oh, hey, Lynn, let's separate. Then no. So we can go together, not separate, and we'll stay on the path. How's that? And we won't take pictures. Well, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I had a cool time looking at interesting stuff with you and looking at this Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, phenomena. And these are grounding centers. When you see stuff like this is where Bigfoot Sasquatch grounds their systems. And this is like a root system that was turned upside down. You know, like when you break a tree off above the ground, let's say. And then let's say you take that root system out of the ground and then you turn the root system upside down. That's what this is. So it's done intentionally. It's not like all the trees, you know, it was natural when the tree falls over and the root system is on its side, not turned completely upside down and stuck in the ground. So you can see this is one of those root systems that was turned upside down. And you can see all these tree trunks all over the place. You see that they were not cut. They were broken off. They're all about the same size or so. So this is where a lot of, and you can see on the ground in the back, where you see these on the ground in a grid system. And over off to the right and everything. This is a grounding place for the system. So everything in the whole forest is connected to everything in the whole forest. There's not a branch that's not connected to the rest of the branches in the entire forest, or these tree trunks or whatever you call them that are used for the system. The system, you will find one of these branches. It will be completely deteriorated, you know, like over time or whatever. It'll deteriorate and you'll see all the pieces on the ground. And then you'll see a brand new tree trunk in it, the same size, in its place. And all of the decaying and that matter is on the ground, like something that might have tree trunk that fell apart 5 or 10 years ago and it's just in pieces. And a brand new trunk is in its place. So you see where they are constantly maintaining this grid system. And now it's a little bit easier to explain to you what the grid system looks like, because you can see where a lot of this grid system is connected in all different directions of the forest to this one grounding place. That is a tree trunk from a broken off tree. And it was the tree, the roots were taken out of the ground. This was turned upside down and like stabbed into the ground to hold it in place. Does that make sense? Am I explaining this properly, you guys? Oh, good grief. So this shows you, even though you look at the videos and you can see the grid system on the ground, it's all over the place for 6 miles. And a whole football field across for 6 miles was exactly like this everywhere. These grounding roots were just here and there. And there were some trees that were burned. It was the weirdest thing. It's like they were burning from the inside out. And it wasn't like a lot of trees. It was just one in the center of this area that looked like it was circled out. Like there was some kind of an energy force that set that tree on fire, not fire. Like an energy that got so hot, the trunk, all that was left was a hollowed out trunk because it was burned. It was burned from the inside out. And these trees were placed in certain places where I was told that these were like ceremonies and stuff that took place. Huh. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Cool beans, right? And Morris is from Kentucky. Welcome from Kentucky. I'm over here in Colorado on the Arkansas River. I'm like, how is it the Arkansas River if I'm in Colorado? Why couldn't they just change the name? And it's just all these rivers are named of the state they're traveling through. That's my opinion. If I'm in Colorado, it should be the Colorado River, damn it. If I'm in Arkansas, it should be the Arkansas River. Like, good grief. Let's see. And I found this channel somehow. Keep up the good work. Aw. Thank you. Glad you showed up. More questions coming. May we all find them. I know, right? Oh, I mean, find the answers to them. You know, in the end, who really knows what happened? Anyway. Castle Rock. Ooh, let's see. Castle Rock. Isn't there like a Castle Rock or something Rock, Arkansas? But a Kentucky. That is Kentucky, right? I've got the initials correct, don't I? Castle Rock, Kentucky. Cool. Cool beans. It was good seeing you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. This turned out to be quite a long show. I thought we'd be finished before, but now lunch. now lunch. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. And I'll see you on the next video.
Realm of dreams where the stars align. Kelly Coffee takes you on a ride divine. In her thought bubble we soar through the night. Exploring the universe, our vision takes flight. The symphony of galaxies fills the air. Come with me, let's ride on the cosmic breeze. With Kelly Coffee, we'll journey through galaxies. In her God bubble, we'll explore the unknown. A grand adventure.